Saying hello. Okay, it's actually working now. Hello. Yeah, I figured y'all couldn't hear it. I saw the mic thing wasn't going, which is why it it whenever whenever my Logitech mouse updates, it like fucks with my microphone for some reason, and I had to restart because OBS wouldn't fucking load my fucking 3D model. So I had to I had to restart my computer, and so because of that, it whenever I restart my computer, it sometimes breaks the fucking microphone because Logitech. So, hello everyone. Um, we are here with issue number 213. We are going to be going through 232 today. There's also Sonic Universes all in there. So, I hope you have a good time. It Something you may have noticed with what we're getting into is we're kind of falling into a rhythm. Um, Flynn is having fun pulling a lot of stuff from older times and doing things with it. I mean, we didn't really care about Monkey Con, but was Monkey Con and the Kingdom something unique to the comics specifically? Yes. You have a lot of these characters and situations and places and things like that were unique to the comics, that were pulled in for single use by Gallagher or by Penders and then thrown away. um and so Flynn is actually taking these plot hooks, which you can call them plot hooks, and exploring things with them. Like, for example, in this issue, you can see Big the Cat. Big the Cat is very obviously here. We have the Queen of the Felidae. Who remembers the Felidae? The Felidae are from the Sonic Adventure tie-in, because Penders wanted to write Locke being cool instead of writing Sonic Adventure. So he wrote, Locke saving the day from the mysterious cat people of mysterious cat country. Um, and how that's how he wrote in the echidnas from Sonic Adventure into the world. Um, and so Flynn is like, you know what? We can do something fun with them. We can use Big the Cat, who's, a Sega character and doesn't really get much chance to shine. We also can pull in Lupe the Wolf, who, is originally from the Saturday Morning, but for all intents and purposes, is something unique to the comics. So, we have issues like this where there'll be like a few little issues about it, and it'll just be like exploring and fleshing out the world. It's not like when Flynn was brought in and Flynn took that opportunity to clean house over, a year. Um, this is all just Flynn is hitting stride, is doing stuff, fleshing out the world, and this is kind of where we're going to be for a while, is in this fleshing out the world until later on in today's uh comics where something big happens. Um that will be, of course, issue 225. Will be something big happening because it's a milestone issue. We're also going to be having we're going to have an unexpected callback to a particularly bad Sonic comic. We're going to have some other characters coming in from Sonic Universe you may not expect, and we're going to have a callback to issue number 1 or issue number 2, I forget which. Hold on, let me check my notes. I will be able to tell you exactly which of the issues it is. Issue 2, sorry. We're gonna have a throwback all the way to issue number 2. Um, so I hope you're ready for some interesting stuff this time. Um, what do we have here? We have Sonic and Big are trying to talk to the Felidae. Um, the Felidae are like, he's a heathen. Um, he talks with outsiders. He's a heathen. and the Felidae leader is like, "You stole, so it's you who stole the ancient onyx." Um, and Sonic's like, "No, we didn't. We didn't steal the ancient onyx." Big gets dressed up as the official speaker because even though he is a lowly fisherman, um, but Sonic talks for Big because Big doesn't talk very much. The characterization of Big is much more closer to how it is in proper Sonic Adventure here, by the way. Big doesn't talk much. Um, Basically, what happened was Sonic and Sally went to visit the Wolf Pack. The Wolf Pack, you may remember, also are taking care of two human children. They're right here. Lupe got asked to step up to be chief of the entire Wolfpack Nation. Now that they are doing better, and they were like, "Our ancient onyx was stolen from us. We can't find it to do the ceremony. We'd like you to bring you into the Wolfpack." And so the wolves are like, our ancient onyx is missing, and they're like, "We who would dare, a Felidae warrior is invading right into the city. Who would dare to invade us alone?" Big the cat just kind of wanders in. "Hey, it's big, it's enormous." Um, and Sonic and Big talk, and Sonic flashes back to me like he helped us in Sonic Adventure. Um, and Big is like, "I'm here to get the big jewel thing," and so they're like, spears out. And he's like, "The Felidae are mad because it's missing, so I came to see if the wolves have it." The wolves are like, "Huh, the cats don't have it either. What happened to it?" Um, and they're like, "It is they the cats and the wolves are uh bicker over who owns this ancient ancient onyx." Now, what was the ancient onyx? The ancient onyx was what Robotnik discovered chaos in. So if you remember correctly from the intro to the Sonic Adventure comics, Robotnik shows up with a sledgehammer, smashes, hits the ancient onyx, doesn't like destroy it, only like cracks it. Chaos comes out, and that's how chaos is introduced into the world. So the Felidae and the Wolf Pack are like, we are both needing the ancient onyx. Um, Sonic and Big go to the Felidae. The Felidae like, "Oh, where's your princess?" And Sonic's like, "She went off on her own to try to figure shit out." Sally goes to the temple where the echidnas oppressed the Felidae, and Sally outlines the events of Sonic Adventure and what happened with the ancient echidnas and chaos. Um, Goes in and discovers a chapter of the Dark Egg Legion, and sure enough, who is here but Drago? You may remember Drago left the Destructics, according to Sleuth Dog, and is working for Robotnik now. There's also this Cat Warrior dude. Um, Turns out Drago and this Cat Warrior guy were legionized. Um, yes, the Abuse Wolf. Um, Sally, is surrounded, so surrenders. Um, Sonic is like, "We'll help find the special rock free of charge. We can probably figure out a timeshare plan between you and Lupe." Putting Drago with a cat seems like a bad move given his history. It's true. Um, but this is a big cat dude and not a someone he can, romantically abuse and then physically abuse. Um, the Felidae are like, "We'll accept your agreement as long as you outcast Big as well, because we don't want Big around." Um, the Wolf Pack approaches with weapons drawn. Um, Issue number 214. Um, Basically, the Wolf Pack are like, "Hey, Very, how are you?" Um, it the Wolf Pack are like, "We're here to claim the ancient onyx. We you two were gone so long. I feared the worst. You were decoys all along. Both of you were spies for the wretched wolves. And so the cats and the wolves are arguing about who has the ancient onyx. Um, and I really wish Sally was here to help defuse this. Should I go find her for you? The big, you know. It turns out the ancient onyx was stolen by Drago and this cat guy, and Sally is held prisoner here, and gets Drago to explain a lot of things about what everything is going on, um, just by playing stupid because Drago is very stupid. Um, Turns out this cat warrior guy was the guy Locke fought in issue number 84 during the Sonic Adventure tie-in. You remember that cat warrior that Locke fought and beat up? That cat warrior guy was like disgraced, so he left and had a bunch of other cats leave with him. Turns out they became sub bosses for the area uh, by getting legionized, by having parts replaced with cybernetics, stole the Onyx, and are pitting the two groups against each other so that way they fight. And Drago's like, maybe we should, kill you too and bring in a three-way war here. Um, Sonic and Big are trying to think of what to do. Big is like, I particularly like this. Sonic's friend or not move. Sorry, Sonic said to stand between you two like this. Sonic's like, I think I know what is going on. I think I know where the Onyx is. Turns out there's the reason why Drago and the cat guy are hiding out here is because this is the temple that did I no, that was last issue. The temple where the echidnas oppressed the cat people. So the cat people don't go in because they consider it a holy site of remembrance. The wolves don't enter it because they are respecting the Felidae, and they're like, we're not going to enter in your holy sites. We're not gonna be rude like that. Um, so neither of them are willing to go to this temple. So Sonic and company are Sonic is like, we need to go to this temple. And the wolf pack and the cats both enter the temple and sure enough find the Dark Legionnaires and start attacking. Um, Sonic explains who they are. There's more wolf pack stuff and another wolf pack guy that turned traitor. The the cat warriors have been legionized. Remember, Robotnik is legionizing them by giving them cybernetics and that kind of thing. So you get this creepy shot of a cat with cybernetic weird eyes. Big the cat finds Sally as he was supposed to. Drago tries to attack. Big is big and strong and just fucking decks Drago through a goddamn wall because every single time Drago shows up, Drago has to get punched. And they retreat. The Felidae and the wolves don't go after. That's what happens when you fuck with a guy literally named Big. They recover the Onyx, and Sally is like, look, with this one artifact, your two nations were nearly pitched into war. Your enemy saw the division between you and capitalized on it. You came together and became stronger than either of your nations could hope to be alone. But here today, you chose to come together for yourselves. Sally is like, here's the idea. We keep it in this holy temple. The Felidae still are owning the stone, but the wolves can use the stone for their ceremony. Very late in the lifespan of the Archie comics before they were reset, there was a thing created called the Archie Sonic Compendium or Archie Sonic Encyclopedia, something like that. It is a book that it goes through all of the like lore of the Sonic comics because Flynn, knew all this shit. He wrote it all down. and I don't know if you can find it now. I'd kind of like to go over it once I'm done with all the Archie stories, but it goes over all of every single character, every single history, everything. Hello, Lanran. I hope you are well. Lanran, you were playing UFO 50. I would have lurked, but I'm trying to avoid spoilers for UFO 50. So I apologize. I was not. I was lurking in your chat yesterday. I wasn't saying anything because I don't want to spoil UFO 50 for myself. I'm told it's good. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. The Archie Sonic equivalent of the Silmarillion, kind of, if it was, instead of being told through, prose, if it was just like here's an encyclopedia of like all the characters and stuff, and here's every single one of Knuckles' ancestors and their names, and insanely like that. I think UFO 50 is a great experience and 100% understand going unaware in my first play. Thank you. That's what I was trying to do. But I don't know when I'm going to do that. Sally and Big and Sonic are initiated into the Wolf Pack. That looks like a Chaos Emerald, given how important it's supposed to be, but there are only 7 emeralds now. You can feel their power. I don't feel it here. I don't know what this thing is, but it's not a Chaos Emerald. Back in Mobatropolis, the Rotor's herd is being taken over by the Dark Egg Legion. Again, Flynn is going to be exploring things in the world and doing neat things, like right here. We have another Tails adventure. We have the Tails adventure, in fact, part 1 of 4. Tails is taking Bunny and Antoine on their honeymoon. You remember Bunny and Antoine got married. You may remember the Sea Fox. The Sea Fox is a canonic thing that Tails has due to Triple Trouble and the Tails game for the Game Gear. And sure enough, we have Tails arriving at the Cocoa Island, which the Cocoa Island is the location of the game called Tails Adventure. What is this? This is a Tails Adventure tie-in. This is a Game Gear game tie-in that Flynn is finally doing and bringing in some interesting lore to the world through the Battlebird Armada. The Battlebird Armada are the antagonists of Sonic, or of Tails Adventure, and are going to be actually properly brought into the world, because again, Flynn is going through and is like, okay, what games did we never cover? I'm going to pull them in and bring them into the universe. Says, poor innocent Tails. What about you guys? Won't get bored out here, will you? Do not be worrying, mon ami. We'll be fine. If you change your minds, my workshop's at the top of the cliffs. Will we be bored? He asks. You hush. He's still a youngin'. Antoine and Bunny are going to have their honeymoon here, while Tails is just going to be tinkering with stuff up in his workshop. He explains the origin of finding his island. Turns out when Sonic was disappeared, when Sonic was gone, Tails built a cabin for himself here. We're in the Shadow the Hedgehog era. Wasn't the Game Gear long dead? We are in the late... Oh, I think we're past the GameCube. I think we're in the Wii era, because we already had a Sonic and the Black Knight tie-in. So we're like late Wii, early Wii U era. Wasn't the Game Gear long dead? Yes, but it's canonical Sega stuff. It's canonical Sega stuff that Flynn is like bringing in all these old, Sonic games, because stuff like, say, Triple Trouble got brought in because you have Fang the Sniper, aka Knack the Weasel, in the comics. So why not bring in Tails Adventure? Why not They do a 4-issue miniseries on it. There's a full game there. There's a unique antagonist. Um, Flynn really, really, really wants to use as much stuff in the Sonic games as possible in the comics. This is why Flynn has tried to use certain antagonists from other Sonic games and has been told, no, we're not allowing you to use that antagonist. A lot of these are one shot games. They didn't care about Tails Adventure because why would they care about Tails Adventure? No, they're like, no, you can't use the main bad guy from Sonic 06. Yes, you can use Silver. No, you can't use the main bad guy of Sonic Rush, Dr. Nega. Though Dr. Nega is like mentioned, though they can't actually use him. Um, you can't use, say, the main bad guy of Sonic Forces. Um, this is Infinite, I think his name is. Basically, if a lot of one shot antagonists, Flynn is not being allowed by Sega to use, even though Flynn wants to bring everything into the comic canon. He wants to bring in all of the games. He wants to flesh out the world. He's having fun with, bringing in all these characters, bringing in all this cool stuff. These are the Battle Birds, as I mentioned. This is they're the enemies of Tails Adventure for the Game Gear. Um, we get this nice panel of Tails just sitting on a computer enjoying a sandwich. Which honestly, this is a relatable mood. We have Bunny just standing on coral and Antoine scubaing and not properly having the scuba thing above the water. Um, Tails builds the robot from Tails Adventure. Uh, Antoine and Bunny enjoy a pleasant moment on the beach together, and there's this heart-shaped panel about how happy they are. An explosion happens. Turns out the Battle Birds attacked because the Battle Birds are we're not expecting anyone to show up here in their secret base. Um, they fight the Battle Birds. Tails and the little Teapup go to help. Tails remembers all of the times when, fighting Octobot and the original Tails Adventure, Mogul siphoning power from him, the weird shit that Penders and Gallagher and company did. Um, Tails has grown up and is fighting the Battlebird Armada. Speedy shows up. Speedy is this green bird and is as fast as Sonic. Um, Antoine and Bunny get knocked out by a big robot. Um, Speedy and Tails fight. Speedy's like, "You are a heresy. Only birds should be in the air." Um, he, calling Tails a freak. The Battlebirds are here and are attacking the island, which I want to hold on. I'm gonna go to the off panel. They're talking about the names of characters. Tails because he has two tails. Speedy because he's super fast. Bunny Rabbit because she's a bunny rabbit. Rabbit who's half robot. Antoine because he's French, and they, instead of putting the actual French flag, they put a nice transgender flag behind Antoine. So maybe Antoine is transgender. I don't know. Um, Moving on to Tails Adventure 2 out of 4, Sonic Universe number 18. Um, we support Antoine here. Um, Speedy is just like, you're a unnatural freak, you invaded our thing, and Tails is like, no, like that this was my island, and you know what else flies? Teapup, they escape after being chased by Speedy. This is a flat out one of the bosses of Tails Adventure. Like, where it's a big vertical shaft and Tails has to keep flying up it, and Speedy chasing him. This is direct reference. There's so many direct references to the actual Tails adventure game. This is a labor of love. Tails hides and sleeps for the night. The Antoine's sleight of hands getting the key card to open up. Bunny gets taken by the Battle Birds to the Battle Lord, and the Battle Lord, Battle Cuckoo, the 15th, is like, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was a representative of Robotnik here. And I remember, because they're legionizing, the Robotnik's legionizing Mobians. If a cyborg shows up, it's probably part of the Dark Egg Legion, and so Bunny's like, "Oh, I'm pretending to be a deep cover agent for Robotnik," and the Battle Cuckoo is like, "We're, technically a subsidiary of Robotnik, though Robotnik doesn't check in on us very often." And I particularly like this. Very prepping some chicken thighs with soy sauce, lemon juice, and red pepper powder mix. I hope your lunch is delicious, Fairy. I particularly like this. Tisk tisk mineral water, please. And so they're just enjoying mineral water out of a wine glass. Turns out the Babylon rogues are traitors to the Battle Birds. The Babylon rogues are the rivals from fucking Sonic Riders, who, you remember, they technically have shown up in the past. Turns out Flynn is being like, well, why not have all the birds like be related to this Battle Bird armada of some kind? And so Flynn is rolling with that. Any relation to the two-tailed freak that eluded my men last night? He got away? Good. For your men, I mean. Ferocious little fella, child soldier, weapons expert. It's lucky nobody got hurt, or worse. Really now, he didn't seem the type. He hides it well. Bunny's playing the Battle Bird Armada leader like a fiddle, and enjoying some delicious mineral water. Tails uses some bombs, which is what happens in Tails' adventure. Tails' main primary weapon in Tails' adventure is bombs. This is also why Tails uses bombs in Sonic the Fighters. Tails gets the Sea Fox back and realizes he has to sneak in underwater to get to this artificial island that's here. Antoine tries to sneak out. It runs into Speedy. The Battle Birds and Tails fight underwater. Antoine finds a door to very high up on the island. And Bunny shows up, and Dark Legion, clearance from the Battle Lord. You are working with them? Antoine, honey, I don't have time to explain. Just come with me and promise everything will be fine. Non, I am seeing things clearly now. Silver warned of us, a traitor and the freedom fighters. You insisted we get away from it all. I finally see it for all of what it is. No, Antoine, I promise I'll explain. Just, I do not want to hear it. Goodbye, cruel world. Antoine! No! Antoine falls out of hatch number 3. Don't worry, friends. Antoine is not lost. This may be a Tails adventure, but don't tell that to Antoine. Antoine swan dives out. Bunny comes back pissed. Is he... Yeah, no thanks to you. You seem awfully upset that you just lost the man you're only pretending to be in love with. I'm upset because years of work just got ruined. Antoine was a core member of the Freedom Fighters, and I'm going to have to do damage control while to play the bereaved widow. I don't have time for that. First, y'all check on me without ambushing my status. Then y'all can't keep one little prisoner captive. Then you let him jump out into the ocean. I'm reporting to the Battle Lord now. Maybe he's got ideas on how to fix this mess. And Speedy is pissed off. It felt like it came out of nowhere. Antoine was pretending to be upset because he saw Tails down below and knew Tails would save him. And Bunny closed the door before any of them could see outside. So it hello Rodman Radio. It came out of nowhere because Antoine was realized that Bunny has been seen to be a legionnaire, and so is hamming it up and pretended to, fall to his death. But Tails was there to catch him. Tails and Antoine start going into the cave in the island. My watch wants us to stand up, so it's time to stand up and wiggle, chat. I want you to stand up and wiggle, chat. We're gonna wiggle right now. Having a little bit of trouble focusing because I'm feeling crummy. Sorry. This is there's not a lot of intensely plot relevant stuff this entire thing, so you don't need to necessarily worry about uh focusing. There's just a lot that Flynn is always doing a lot in these comics. And we can sit down now, chat. We've satisfied our watches to wiggles. Um, Speedy uses the computer of Dr. Fukurokov, who is not to be confused with the Battlebird Armada leader. This is the main scientist of the Battlebirds. Speedy looks up the Bunny and finds out she is not Egg Legion. She is a freedom fighter. Speedy is like, we need to do something about this. Tails and Antoine stumble across some battle birds, knock them out, steal the bombs, blow a hole, start encountering more battle birds. Bunny shows up with a sword, gives the sword to Antoine, gives a data of all the schematics of the base that she stole while she was chatting with the leader, gives it to Tails. Tails realizes what the island is. They all start attacking to stop the Battlebird Armada. So something that Flynn and Yardley are really good at is doing a lot of action scenes. Again, I'm going to be skipping over a lot of action stuff because it's not actually really anything plot happening. It's just, this is the final boss. This is the final boss from Tails Adventure. It's an action comic book series, so I'm not complaining about there being action. I'm just saying that I'm going to be like skipping over a bunch of the action because we already it's not important to summarizing stuff other than action is happening. Tails and Bunny and Antoine Tails figures out a plan. Bunny just starts ripping through the fucking wall. Antoine just starts ripping through the fucking wall. Tails loosens a couple joints for the final boss, throws a wrench. The final boss breaks down. All the things fell apart. Meanwhile, Bunny and Antoine have been trying to destroy the base. Turns out Speedy was piloting it. Speedy's also the inheritor of the Battle Birds. He's Battle Cuckoo number 16. All stuff from the games. They start heading a different direction than all of the Battle Birds. The Battle Birds are heading up. Tails is like, we have to head down. There's water down here. Antoine's like, what are we doing? We're under the ocean. We're gonna be drowned. Tails is like, nope, don't worry. It breaks. They jump out. That it's a flying fortress. That's why they were heading down, was because it was a flying fortress and they didn't want to fly off at the top. They wanted to leave at the bottom. The Battlebird guy is like, well, we've been routed. We need to go somewhere for repairs. We also still need to track down the Babylon Rogues, which I haven't a lead on them, but Tails is also our new enemy. There's the Babylon Rogues are here and are like, someone's already been attacking the Battle Cuckoos. We should follow them. Tails and Antoine and Bunny celebrate a Job well done. Here's to having a real vacation. We got some Tails fan art contest. This is a pretty cool fan art. This is a pretty cool fan art from Jonathan Yu from North Carolina. Good job, Jonathan. Um, Also Sapphire Wong, Hudson G, Jean Francois from Belgium. Um, we got some charming fan art. We got some good fan art here. Um, Back to the main comics, 215. Um, 215 is going to be stuff about Rotor and the Arctic Freedom Fighters. Um, the Arctic Freedom Fighters sent a message about saying Rotor's herd, which includes his mother and little brother, are being brainwashed by the Egg Legion. Rotor asks Nicole to come see him after uh, the meeting. Ash Axel, hello. Uh, Sonic goes off on his own to help and meets up with the Arctic Freedom Fighters. You may remember the Arctic Freedom Fighters from multiple times. They're the same they've always been. Um, they will be more fleshed out with their abilities. Um, they're they're like, "Where's Rotor?" And Sonic's like, "Rotor took Rebar to the back, and his adventuring days are over." Um, Rotor gives a schematic to Nicole and is like, "Can you make this out of nanites?" Turns out he was having Nicole make battle armor so that way he could go into battle. Um, the Because he wants to, free his family from the Dark Egg Legion. Why does Robotnik keep trying to take over a herd of walruses in the Arctic? I don't know. Rotor outlines what happened when Sonic was uh, in space. Now, you may remember, this is actually to unify, this is to explain and to unify previous stuff with Penders' thing. You may remember, I have said this before, Rotor back before issue 50 would build some pretty big weaponry. Turned out when Sonic was lost in space, Rotor kept building larger and larger weapons until he went overboard one day, took out plenty of bad X-Men, took out freedom fighters as well. It's gone too far. Recognize this? This is Larry the Lynx. Who remembers Larry the Jinx? Of the backup freedom fighters. That again another deep cut from fucking Flynn. Um, I vowed never to build another weapon again. I stuck to that oath pretty hard, maybe a little too hard. I'm sure I made a hypocrite of myself more than once. This is back from when they were in the area with that stupid robot, the golden robot that looked like Omega. Rotor is like, freedom fighters don't use guns, and this is Flynn being like, look, I'm explaining everything that happened previously, why Rotor went from being big guns to anti-gun to helping out Uncle Chuck build robots while Sonic was away. Rotor's going through it and is like, I was a hypocrite. That's why I'm on the council now. I'm trying to make things right. How's it going? We're going through more of Flynn's good comics. There's just a lot of deep cuts happening. And the Arctic Freedom Fighters and Sonic get shown Robotnik's mind control tower, and oh look, the walruses are actually armed with weapons this time. They're brainwashed instead of just standing there brainwashed, being like holding nothing. Robotnik's actually decided to have them arm themselves with maces and spears and swords and shit, so they're actually a threat instead of just, oh, they're brainwashed. They're just, standing there doing nothing. No. Flynn is like, no, if they're going to be brainwashed, they have to be holding weapons, otherwise they're not a threat. The brainwashed walruses are armed to the fucking teeth. Sonic's like, okay, we just need to get across there. Rotor gets stopped by Silver. The nanites, they're offline. My psychokinesis completely dominates machinery. You don't know me, but I know you, and I know you're not the real Boomer Walrus. Boomer? I know who you are. You're traitor to the freedom fighters. You may remember Boomer was Rotor's original name. Eventually, Rotor started going by Rotor instead of Boomer. Everyone just kind of accepted it. His original name, his actual birth name, is Boomer Walrus, but he goes by Rotor. Um, Silver the Hedgehog doesn't know this, just thinks that he is not actually Boomer Walrus and is deciding he's the traitor to the Freedom Fighters. Because remember, Silver is trying to figure out who the traitor to the Freedom Fighters is to avoid his future from happening. Speaking of Silver's future, this is about why Silver went back in time to stop Rotor. He says, let's hear the first Freedom Fighters are Sonic, Sally, Anton, and Boomer. Whoever this Rotor guy is, he must have taken Boomer's place and somehow gone undetected. Silver's like, I'll go show my master. And he's like, no, wait a minute. My master told me to be productive. I'm sure I got this right. Uses the time stone to time travel. We have an interesting shot from Silver's future having a big statue of Lara Sue. Flynn is keeping Lara Sue written in, so you can understand when Penders finally has his fucking lawsuit where he's like, I want to take control of Lara Sue and everyone, why this was so problematic for the Archie Sonic comics. Because they had written in all of these characters assuming they would be staying there, and then suddenly a lot of these characters got pulled out of them from Penders' lawsuit. I have you now, Boomer. That's one of my. This is one of my favorite reaction images I have. Is just Silver the Hedgehog cropped out that just says "I have you now, Boomer." It's a good reaction image. There's some good reaction images in these. Silver and Rotor fight for a bit, and Rotor's like, "Please just let me save my herd. This is the last time I will have anything to do this. I'm trying to stop my family from being slaves to Dr. Robotnik. There are hundreds in my herd, thousands in the northern tundra alone. Please." Silver's like, I'm gonna help you because I don't want innocents to get hurt. The totem is brainwashing the walruses. The walruses again are armed to the teeth with weaponry. The Arctic Freedom Fighters and Sonic go and fight the walruses. This is Rotor's mom and little brother are looking to thwomp Sonic. Flynn is fleshing out the Arctic Freedom Fighters by having them do things with their abilities. An Ermine can do an invisible thing too. Turns out underwater there are legionized orca, which are fucking terrifying. That they're a cyborg orca. I'm just gonna say that. There's in fact a cyborg orca with a psychic projector that just starts blasting the Arctic Freedom Fighters who are fighting underwater. I'm gonna say a cyborg orca is terrifying. Just absolutely terrifying. I would not want to be anywhere near a cyborg orca. Rotor and Silver show up, destroy, or not, don't really destroy. They destroy their way in. Rotor's like, if you use your psychic abilities with this, you can break the herd, the control over the herd. Silver uses his psychic abilities, blasts the orca, frees the walruses, and destroys the totem. This is the half underwater city of the walruses. My boy, a brilliant freedom fighter at heart and helping to run Robotropolis. Your father would be so proud. I know I am. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, and that robot was so cool. Can I try it on, Boomer? Boomer. Heh. That was his nickname growing up. We called him that all the time. I get it. I know. His mother explained it repeatedly in the trip here. So Silver's like, I fucked up. And Sonic's like, no, you helped out, my dude. Like, still good luck trying to figure out, who's the traitor. Tails, Antoine, and Bunny come back from their adventure. We have a Bunny adventure coming up next. We have Silver goes back into the future. Silver talks to Edmund, the last Guardian. Edmund, is a little absent-minded, but talks to Silver, gives him a little bit of advice. Uh, you do not give me enough credit, apprentice. Return to me. I'm going to go to double page disable for a moment. Silver gets called back to see his mentor. Silver, leaves Edmund and goes and is like, I should have done more research. All respect, sir, I did more research. I did my research before I left. Did you find the traitor? No, but I did eliminate one of the possibilities. I'm close to the truth now. The truth, can we ascertain what the truth is? You lost me, sir. Am I getting yelled at? I do not yell, child. I merely chastise. You are gifted with immeasurable power, and I wish only to save you from making the same mistakes I made in the past. Hard to believe someone as wise as you could make mistakes, sir. I've made many, most of them dire, I'm sad to say. Prepare us dinner for the evening, and we shall reflect upon your latest adventure. Right away, Mammoth Mogul. And this is... Flynn is writing Mammoth Mogul as Vandal Savage. And it's fucking working. Turns out 300, 200, whatever years in the future, I think it's 300 years in the future, Mammoth Mogul is still there. He's an immortal. He's trying to help Silver undo the mistakes of the past, just like Vandal Savage in the Justice League episodes, the Savage times. Mammoth Mogul is repentant and is trying to help Silver, trying to help guide him to stop the bad future from happening. This, you may remember from last time, Mogul was like, well, if I can't beat you, Sonic, I'm just going to outlast you. I'm an immortal. I can wait. Turns out he did wait. Turns out he fucked up somehow, and that's part of the reason for the bad future, and Mogul's trying to undo that and fix the timeline with Silver. I very much like Mogul being... Yes, exactly. The minute Mogul wasn't chained into mwahahaha villainy, where he literally just fucking shows up, is a deus ex machina, and leaves. He's actually pretty cool, whether being good or bad. Yes, because Flynn knows how to write. Like, Flynn understands, like, what these characters were meant to be and, like, how to handle them. Mammoth Mogul as a villain is so good in Flynn's run compared to how he is under Penders and Gallagher. And brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What's happening in issue number 217 of the comics? Bunny and Sonic are fighting in the Oil Ocean Zone. Remember the Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic 2? Flashback to how this went before. Bunny and Sonic were called out to find and help at Sandblast City. You may remember Sandblast City has shown up a few times. The last time Sandblast City showed up, Bunny was the one who went out and was ambushed by the Sandblast City people. Bunny's flying over Sandblast City. She gets disabled. Her cybernetics disabled. Sonic is like, Bunny. He heads into Sandblast City. He's like, where's Jack? They're like, it's the traitor Sonic. Fight him. And they fight Sonic for a little bit. Jack Rabbit is like, what the fuck are you doing here? Bunny and I came, the stress signal you guys sent, then you knocked her out of the air. We just wanted backup. We didn't want you, and we didn't knock nobody out of the sky. And Jolt is like, the EMP generators must have gotten her. And fucking Jack Rabbit is like, you bet you're right. I still told you to fucking shut up. Turns out the Sandblast City put EMP things around their city to disable the roboticized Mobians, and disable the robots that were attacking them. Jackrabbit is like, I will help you out finding your friend if you help us destroy Eggman, allow us to take over Eggman's base in the area. Um, Sonic agrees to help. The Dark Legion is here. There's Bunny Dark Legions, as you can see, with cybernetics. Bunny wakes up. She was captured by the Legion. Dark Legion has someone show up. Now hold on there, Buns. Oh my stars, you're among friends, sweetheart. This is a new character. This is Uncle Beauregard. This is Bunny's uncle. Bunny's uncle is here. He is tall. He is dressed up in his Sunday best. He has been legionized. He's like, maybe we should talk in private, Bunny. And he's like, we need to catch up. What the fuck happened? And Bunny explains she was, half roboticized. And he's like, you became a freedom fighter. For that I'm proud of you. Did everyone start saying Rabot instead of Rabo? I get that all the time. That is Flynn writing it specifically. Bunny's name is not Bunny Rabot. It is Bunny Rabo, pronounced that way. And Bunny is like, I'm now Mrs. Ducoulette. And the uncle's like, you got married? Why didn't you invite me? Even if that is the family name of the soldiers bent on protecting the oppressors. Antoine is a good man, Uncle Bo. Please don't start this now. Not when we just got each other's back. And he's like, right. You're a freedom fighter and I'm the Legion. I don't know how long we can keep the peace. Why the Legion? Regardless of what happened between Kingdom and the Baronies, how could you side with Eggman? Legionization ain't all bad. Fix my bum knee after all. I'm serious. I know, and there's no sense keeping you, seeing as you're all grown up. Walk with me. We used to be the Robians that were roboticized in this area. We used to be mindless slaves of Dr. Robotnik. Turns out we were also cannon fodder to be used against Sandblast City. Once we got turned back to normal, incoming ad break in 3 minutes. Once we got turned back normal, Sandblast City still called us once a Robian, always a Robian. We were worse than slaves under them. They drove us into the Badlands. We had no chance but to ask Eggman Empire for help. I did my best to organize and protect these people. We don't want to be part of this. We don't want to protect the refinery, but we don't have a choice. So what has happened in a lot of these areas that Flynn is writing, the sub-bosses of a lot of these areas, again, have been legionized. They've been turned into cyborgs to show that they work for Robotnik. And they're having to do things as sub-bosses of Robotnik. And so Bunny is like, I will help you out. I will help you out, Uncle. I would never betray you. You are family. Sonic and the Sandblast City people start heading towards the refinery. Sonic is like, Bunny is undoubtedly on my side. And Bunny slaps Sonic, and then Bunny and Sonic start fighting. Either this is another double agent plan or Jack wasn't kidding about her turning traitor. Either way, I'll play it up and see how things pan out. I'm sorry about that, Sonic, but I ain't letting the Sandblasters getting a hold of this place. I'm not allowed to get Eggman's goons hold on to it, so bring it on. Sonic and Bunny are fighting because they are on different sides. In the B story for the issue, we have the first appearance of Vanilla and Cream actually in the proper Sonic comics. Vanilla and Cream had been in the Sonic X comics. Did I cover the Sonic X comics? No, because they're all themed about Sonic X, and I didn't feel like going over 1,000 Sonic X comics. This is the first time Cream and Vanilla show up in the actual Sonic comics. Turns out Snively is trying to destroy this Chow Garden because they've been going around getting the magical energies from the Chow Gardens. Amy shows up. Amy smashes the robot. The robot falls on Cream and Vanilla's house. Amy is like, I'm sorry, you guys can come live in New Mobotropolis, and the Chow can be at the Lake of the Rings in in Mobotropolis. So Cream and Vanilla have been introduced finally into the actual Sonic comics proper. Issue number 218. Everyone's just kind of watching this fight happen. Sonic and Bunny talk about what have been going on. If the Sandblasters get a hold of this place, Eggman will come down hard on the Baron and his chapter of the Dark Egg Legion. And Bunny's like, they were abused by the Sandblasters, and Sonic's like, okay, we can't do the dirty work for the bad guys. Baron's my Uncle Sonic. I can't turn my back around on him again now that I found him again. You're right. We can't let them maintain the place for the Doctor. You made their point. I won't let Sandblasters take this place and leave your uncle or group to take the heat. If only there would be us to blame. Bunny and Sonic realize if they just pretend to fight and they actually smash the shit out of the refinery, it will be blamed on Sonic and Bunny. Jack Rabbit realizes they're smashing the refinery, goes in. The Dark Egg Legion Baron is like, yes, Baron, hopefully we'll end the fight before the refinery suffers any more collateral damage. Hopefully. Wait, he takes a look. He's like, oh, she married a Colette. She's a freedom fighter. They're smashing up the refinery. Everyone runs in to stop Sonic and Bunny. Sonic fights the Sandblasters. Bunny fights the Sandblasters. The Baron fights the Sandblasters, stops them from firing a rocket at Sonic and Bunny. I thought you understood. It don't matter what this refiner's for. It don't matter. He built a refueling station for something bigger than anything he's ever flown. We need to protect and run it until he says otherwise. You're putting the lives of the entire chapter at risk. Y'all did that the minute you sided with Eggman. You cold-hearted. Surprise! You've done it. Gone and done it, Mrs. DeColette. You've doomed us all. No, I haven't. We stopped the Sandblasters from getting the place. We've struck a blow to Eggman's plane, whatever they are, and we shifted all the blame away from you. What? She's right. Tell her the Doc I was involved, and you'll be completely off the hook. We go back a long way. He's got a bit of a complex. You can't play both sides forever, Buns. One of these days you'll have to face us, a freedom fighter. I know that, Uncle Bo, but this is not the time. It's the first time I've ever seen you. I haven't seen you in years. I didn't want to end another fight. And Uncle Beauregard is like, stand down. I'm giving the order to fall back. Goodbye, Mrs. DeColette. Goodbye, Grandmaster Rabbit. Bunny and her uncle leave the burning oil ocean refinery, knowing that the next time they encounter, they will likely be having to fight. Let's go home. We helped out a group of freedom fighters, stopped the plans of various jerks, and helped out a lot of people in a bad position. It was a good day, Bunny. Meanwhile, back at Castle Acorn, former King Max wants to see Jeffrey St. John. What could he be doing? Robotnik has called Snively before him to, say you've been treacherous. He's recorded Snively's conversations. Snively was trying to get the ninjas to come back, and then asks about the Iron Queen. She's still in prison at the heart of the Free People's lands. That prison is still made of stone, still kept clear of any advanced machinery or electronics, sir. The Iron Queen is being held prisoner in the Dragon Kingdom. I have it. I'm verifying your challenges to your power, taken care of. What about you treacherous about that? Say it's over. What? Say that your little romance with the Iron Queen is over. Give her up. Here, now. She's lost to me. It's over. I give up. Attaboy, you're all dismissed. It is over, but not in the way you think. Snively is very upset about Robotnik doing this and is planning something for the future. Before we find out why the former King Max wants Jeffrey St. John, we are back to Sonic Universe number 21. Dr. Nega is bouncing between dimensions, being chased by the Zone Cops. Drops something off here by accident. Cream wants to head off with Amy to go see this thing that Amy needs to check out for adventures. Cream wants to go along and enjoy the adventure. Um, they run into Blaze the cat. Blaze the cat is searching for the soul emeralds. Turns out one of them has ended up here in the prime dimension. Blaze and Amy don't know who each other are, so they fight for a little bit until one of them name drops Sonic. Cream is like, look, that you two shouldn't be fighting. This is what the soul emeralds look like. Amy is like, we'll use Nicole to find out where your other soul, where your soul emerald is. We'll find it for you. Turns out Rouge is also here. Rouge is like, I'm looking for a jewel. Haha, you were spying on us. Not at all. I'm following the same odd readings your team is after. That, and it doesn't take much spying when anyone with 100 feet of you can hear. Have you found the soul emerald yet? How about now? And is it really hard to believe Miss Rouge is here to help? Yes. Oh, please. I'm plenty trustworthy. You're a spy. I'm a spy for Gun, your ally. You're as shady as they come. No worse than Fiona, and you let her on your team. But you don't give up. You were doing so well. Again, we have Flynn writing Rouge as like a bad girl, kind of, but a bad girl who's like, I'm playing good. I'm being good right now. And is like, why is this so important? It keeps my world alive. That will make things more complicated, thanks to Rouge the Bat. Some adventure. They find the soul ring got dropped off here by Dr. Nega by accident. They're like, there it is. And Rouge is like, I'm going to steal it. Blaze is like, no, you're not. And Rouge escapes and meets up with the rest of Team Dark. We have Shadow and Omega here. If you guessed this was going to kind of be sort of their way of bringing in Sonic heroes, you're kind of right. Back in Blaze's home dimension, the things are getting worse because the soul emeralds are not there. Blaze is like, my world needs it, otherwise we will die. You know the Shadow, and Shadow's like, that was then, this is now. It's just business, honey. We don't want to get messy. They fight. Turns out someone's watching from the bushes. They fight. Cheese runs off with the soul emerald. Shadow tries to yoink the soul emerald from Blaze. Blaze has it explode into fire. Turns out Knack the Weasel, Bark the Polar Bear, and Bean the Duck are here as well and are taking the soul emerald. And they're also kidnapping Cream. Blaze stops them. Still fighting. Team Dark shows up. Still fighting. Lots of action. Amy gets hit with her own hammer by Shadow. Cream cries and makes Omega feel bad. Bean and Bark have the soul emerald. Turns out someone is chasing them. Who remembers what this Zeppelin was? Don't worry, you're about to find out. This Zeppelin shows up or chasing Fang and company. Amy convinces that Team Dark that we should work together for this moment. Shadow lets them borrow his motorcycle. You may remember his motorcycle from fucking Shadow the Hedgehog. That's his motorcycle from Shadow the Hedgehog. Blaze and Shadow are, of course, not in the motorcycle because they can go fast. Knack is like, you'll blow up the Gemerald if you try to blow us up again. The the blimp is from the Babylon Rogues. Remember the Babylon Rogues? They're like, "Oh, hey, a precious thing. We will take that from you." And jettison Q Hawkington, it is you, Gawk Bean. And you brought the whole family. Quite the proud papa, ain't you, Jettison? That's not my name. Let me go. I thought the Battle Lord took him out. No such luck. Again, they're tying in the Battle Bird and the Battle Lord Armada to all the birds. Turns out Bean was so insane the Battle Birds didn't want anything to do with him, and the Babylon Rogues, left the Battle Bird Armada. Um, Fang is like, I can shoot them, um, and starts trying to shoot them. The rest of the group shows up and start also fighting the Babylon Rogues, start fighting Fang and company. Um, turns out Bean has control over explosives. That's Bean's like ability. Is the Babylon Rogues try to bomb them? Not like this. Not like this. Wow, look at all of them. A 1 and a 2 and a 1-2 all together now. Kaboom. Perfect, except you on the left. You were a little flat. Did Bean just be thankful he's more rogue than Armada. Nobody tries to blow up my bike. Babylon Rogues and Fang and company start trying to fight, but then Team Dark and Team Rose show up, and it's a 4-way brawl. This is a heavy action issue. There's a lot of action that's going on in this issue because this is what people buy comic books for. Sure. There's a lot of action happening. Amy calls out Shadow. Control of explosion sounds pretty powerful. It does. You forget I control flames, I create them, and can end them. Blaze extinguishes the fuse on the bomb because, again, she controls flames. She can end flames, so Bean can't blow her up. Bean is, while this action is happening, Bean is like, "I'm sorry, my little bomb. I'm sorry. You had such a good life coming from me, but you were taken from you before it was ready. I will always remember you. Name you Cecil or Abigail. No, it's got to be something gender neutral. Jamie, maybe? Kendall?" Amy is like, "Rouge, we should at least be working together to take down the Babylon Rogues and Fang." "I took down Sonic the Hedgehog more than once. Why do you dames give me such a hard time?" "Right this way, Mr. Duck. We're going to meet with your friends." Yes, Jamie Kendall Duckingtonworth 3 would have liked that. And they're all back together, and Blaze lights the bomb again. "JK, you came back!" Kaboom. I like how Bark is just like accepting of this. Like Bark's like, "Hey, this is what keeps happening. This is what it's like hanging around with Bean." The Babylon Rogues are like, "Oh no." Fang is like, "Oh no." Kaboom. Wave the Swallow hid behind her board and is extremely upset that they are damaging the extreme gears and drags off the rest of the Babylon Rogues. What is Bark's thing? Bark is just extremely strong. He's a polar bear. Bark is just a polar bear. He doesn't speak. He doesn't talk. He's just exceptionally strong. Because he's a polar bear. "I can't feel my hands. We're going now? That sounds good." Shadow's like, or Rouge is like, "Hand over the stone." Shadow's like, "Gun owns Blaze a favor for the Chaos Emerald." Rouge is like, "I don't walk away from a gem." And Shadow is like, "You will let this go, or I will make you. We will make you. I will not make the tiny bunny cry." And Team Dark leaves. Blaze leaves with 2 of the Soul Emeralds. outlines the events to Vanilla, and they accidentally left Nicole back at the tree. Nicole is pouting because was left alone back at the tree. Issue number 219, In Service to the King. This, I am curious as to what people will think about this storyline. This is the next major storyline that is happening. As you can see in the cover, there is, Sonic, there is St. John, there's Elias, and there is Max. Turns out Mina is having nightmares about an evil Nicole and the time back when the Iron Dominion took over the Nanite City. Mina is having nightmares about it. Wakes up. I specifically asked for you to report to me alone, Commander. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I'm afraid the weather has put Max in a bad mood. No apologies needed, Your Majesty. Sire, you tasked me with finding a means to restore the monarchy to proper authority. Yes. Chaos Emerald will do that, but they are difficult to collect without acceptable losses. I see. Very pragmatic. Proceed to your discretion, Commander. Thank you, Sire. St. John pulled Sonic out and is like, look, we're going to go to the special zone. We're going to get a Chaos Emerald for King Max. It's heartbreaking the old Max is losing his marbles. Yeah, I picked up on that. He thinks he can bring back the old days, task me away with finding it happen, so you're getting him a Chaos Emerald. It wouldn't hurt for us to have one. Hello, child. He'll be happy thinking things are changing and be none the wiser. I hate to pull one over on the old man, but it's a good plan, for you. St. John is like, let's get us Chaos Emerald. We lost our last emerald when Mogul took the Gray Emerald. So we need to... King Max, former King Max, has ordered me, the special service, to go get a Chaos Emerald, and I need your help from forgetting it. King Max wants to summon Ken Penders back. Hoo hoo hoo. It'll be better than that, I promise. They go to Freedom HQ. Turns out Mina is there because Mina couldn't sleep and is talking with her boyfriend, Ash. And he's like, St. John's like, let him work it out. We've got a mission. Mina is like, I'm still having nightmares about Nicole being omnipresent and trees snatching you right off the street. She was everywhere. I don't care if Sonic says she's back normal. I want to believe in Nicole like he does. And she's everywhere and she's everything Ash if she lost control again. It will be our nightmares all over again. It's been rough on us and a lot of people. Ash is like, why don't you say something through your music? You're a musician. Write these emotions into a new song and, sing it and see how other people feel. And Mina's like, that's a good idea. Sonic and Jeffrey talk for a little bit. How's Hershey? I haven't seen her in forever. She's good. She's deep undercover. I won't be seeing her for a while. They go to the special zone. You dare return to Feist's domain? Feist will not tolerate an infestation of mortals. And you're like, Feist, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. You liked that I gave Ixisnogus a major headache, remember? I thought we were cool, man, Sonic. Ah, yes, Feist recalls now. You have come for another Chaos Emerald? If that's okay with you, you will play Feist's game and abide by his rules. Defy me as others did, and Feist will smite you. And Sonic's like, what others? And so St. John is like, you like games, huh? Feist enjoys a good sport. St. John is like, why not have it so we're competing? Why not have it so Sonic and I compete? It makes the scary god type happy. Between the two of us, this should be a breeze. And Sonic's like, okay, we had our old grudges. The hatchet is officially buried. Then you loony child, better a loon than a stinky wannabe skunky. So Feist is like, sure, compete, and whoever gets to the Emerald first. And Sonic just blasts through the fucking special stage. This is Sonic 2. St. John just sits there and waits. Sonic gets the Emerald. St. John shoots him. Knocks him off the thing. Ha ha! Most enjoyable. Your treachery delights, Feist. Right then, we're square. Cheers. St. John leaves the special zone with the emerald, doesn't say anything to Cole, leaves in quiet, um, heads to someplace you may recognize as the Casino Night Zone. Is your boss in? Yes, he's a very busy man. His schedule just opened up. Nobody sees Master Mogul without an appointment. Your 11 o'clock is here, sir. Commander St. John, isn't it? With a Chaos Emerald, no less. I'm not sure if we have enough chips to exchange for that. I'm not here to gamble, Mogul. I'm here to barter. I have retired from daily antagonism and malevolence, Commander. What need would I have for another Chaos Emerald? None. This gem isn't for you. It's the key to completing my mission. You have the last thing I need. Oh, what mission is that? To restore the true king to the throne. And we get a zoom in on Ixis Naugus. B story for the issue is a Sonic Colors tie-in. It's Sonic Colors. That's all there is to say about it. Sonic's like, what was Jeffrey thinking? He's just floating in the special zone. You just stood there and watched. Feist found it amusing. Everything in the special zone is for Feist's amusement. Well, Feist needs to find a better sense of humor and some personal pronouns. And Sonic's like, what is he really up to? And how do I get out of here? You'll have to excuse my caution, Commander St. John. It's not often a secret agent of my hated enemies comes to my place of business, harasses my staff, brandishes a gemstone of unfathomable power. You said that in all one breath. You really are a talker. Do not bore me with petty insults. You are mistaken if you believe you can woo me with yet another Chaos Emerald. The emerald isn't for you, Mogul, nor is it for sale. It's to restore Ixis Naugus to his former glory. Sonic Colors was a pretty good Sonic game. I never played it. But that's to give you an idea of what time this is in. I'm pretty sure it's the Wii. I think that's late in the Wii life cycle of Sonic Colors. Restore the last of my old odor so you might challenge me? Lose my delightfully gruesome pet? I think not. Remember, Mogul revealed at some point he was technically the leader of the Ixis, and Ixis Naugus lost his mind being in the egg grapes and is just kind of more than a rabid animal at this point. Even with an emerald, Naugus wouldn't be a threat to you. You've already proved you're in a league of your own. While you'd lose a pet, New Metropolis would get a major upheaval. The unhappy people would need to resort like yours to escape their troubles, bringing you business, and I guaranteed my mission will make Sonic miserable. There you have sold me, my good man. Naugus is all yours. Naugus gives the emerald back, or St. John gives the emerald back to Naugus. Naugus loses his insanity, creates a staff for the emerald. Let no joyful voice be heard. Let no one look to the sky with hope. And let this day be cursed for those who witness the return of Ixis Naugus. And this line here, the let no joyful voice be heard, that's what I say when I wake up in the morning. Excellent return to form, sir. You, long have I suffered indignity at your hands, trapped in a broken mind, treated like an animal. You have much to answer for. Master, you still recovering? There's much need to review. We should fall back for now. Turns out St. John actually is an Ixis wizard. Turns out this entire time, SpaceMouse isn't part of the problem. SpaceMouse ensures they are the problem. Exactly. Exactly, Zed. Turns out St. John this entire time was an Ixis agent and is loyal to Ixis Naugus. This is a twist that Flynn decided to do that I am curious about people's opinions of St. John finally being revealed as a traitor. And what was Silver trying to stop? The traitor and the freedom fighters. Mogul is enjoying watching this. What does this remind you of about Mogul in the future? Mogul in the future regretted doing this. This is kind of nothing to me. Ixis Naugus was originally from the Saturday morning cartoon. Again, as I said at the beginning, Lynn is pulling out villains that were in the Sonic comics. He is not really creating new things. He is just reusing a lot of old stuff and is bringing in old bad guys to once again cause problems. So he's bringing back Ixis Naugus as a villain to cause problems. He brought you a Chaos Emerald. I think that would count for something, right? Too. I'm not talking to you, Mogul. Do not mistake my support for charity. You've promised me a revolution. I expect this investment to pay off. You'll get what you want once my master has proven the rightful king of Mobotropolis. You may remember Naugus's claim that he is the rightful king of the Acorns because Max gave his title to Ixis Naugus while he was trapped in the Zone of Silence. So Ixis Naugus believes him to be the rightful king of Mobotropolis. Come, apprentice, we must prepare to deal with the Quickster. Sonic, I shot him in the back. Pause. Ha 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 ha! That alone earns you a reprieve. Thank you, sir. What became of the Quickster after you shot him? All you do is fall. This bores Feist. There's not much I can do, big guy. You're the one with godlike powers. You do something. Very well. Display your skills to Feist, and you will find your way home. Now that's more like it. Back in the special zone, I particularly like this. Sonic is just like waiting, and Feist is like, "Aren't you gonna do something fun, man?" Sonic's like, "You're the boss here." Fucking bounces off of things. So close. Will you fall back in the void? I've had about enough of all the fun I can stand here today. Delightful. You are Feist's favorite. Feist is clapping. I aim to please. See you later. You creepy, overbearing, ill-tempered, bad-humored, egotistical badger panda giant thing. And Sonic, what happened? I'm not sure. And tell the Council of Acorns I'm on my way back, and I've got some bad news. Sonic outlines Jeffrey St. John took the Emerald and was doing so under the orders of Maximilian. You've been attending Maximilian. Do you think he's plotting to retake the throne? It's no secret your father has endured physical and mental trauma that would have broken most men many times over. It's taking its toll. I can assure you he's no threat to anyone and anything. His good days are getting fewer and farther between. And Tails' mom is like, we should, we should protect the monarchy. Clearly, St. John is up to something. And Sonic is like, I will help when St. John shows up. Mina has written some new songs for the band. The band is like, this is kind of heavy. Mina convinces the band to join with her. They practice. Antoine and everyone talk about what happened with St. John. St. John and Ixis Naugus are overseeing New Mobotropolis. This will all play in your hands if you follow my lead, sir. Your magic is weak, but you always did excel in craftiness. I'll defer to you for now. Be patient. New Mobotropolis, your rightful king, is on the way. We get a creepy fucking comic here. This is Dr. Robotnik restoring Leonda, explaining what happened with Leonda and bringing her back. And is like, you have tons of internal cybernetics now. And Leonda's like, why did you fucking do this? You've butchered my people to the brink of extinction. You've robbed us of any dignity we could have had, or left me for dead or worse. Why make me like Dimitri? Why are you showing me any shred of mercy or dignity? And Robotnik's like, because it's fun? Because if I like having underlings that are trying to usurp me, because it keeps me on my toes. So I'm going to outthink you, but I still want you to, be treacherous. So until then, I'm going to give you a nice spot at my side. Because the stronger you make me, the more you'll reap in the end. If you manage to turn on me and survive, that is to say, Woody Grandmaster Leonda. Give it a college try. Robotnik likes having something to win at. Robotnik likes being entertained. Remember that why Robotnik did everything with with keeping everything around was because it entertained him. Next file, issue 221. There's a concert happening with Mina Mongoose. Nicole is here in disguise. Um, Sonic and Sally have some bit of romantic moments. Um, St. John and Naugus are spying from the rafters. Um, Naugus is like, "Can you feel? You feel it in the air? Feel what, sir? The fear, Jeffrey. That poison fog of fear." Um, Mina Mongoose and the band have a new sound. Um, Mina is singing about how she has nightmares and she is afraid of the dark. She can't be jumping at shadows, can't always be running away. She's everywhere, everything. Heroes aren't listening. We're all left alone, unprotected. Um, Sally realizes what Mina is singing, and Nicole already realized what Mina was singing. We won't be afraid. We'll save ourselves. Mina or Nicole deuces out. I knew there was some concern about Nicole and the nanites, but I didn't realize it was this bad. It was and it wasn't. Regardless, they'll play directly at plant. Wait, what? The fear. Fear is the mind killer. You're doing this. You're using your magic to blow their feelings out of proportion. Just as in the Great War, they will do more than call for a reform. They will be baying for blood. So Ixis Naugus is using his magic to magnify everyone's fear. I do like how Flynn writes Subonic. He's actually capable of being a legitimate threat, but he's not emotionally detached, so he's kind of psychotic. He is kind of psychotic. He's super fucking evil. And Naugus is also being pretty portrayed as evil as the fact he can just amplify people's negative emotions and is literally like subconsciously driving people to try to riot. Sonic confronts and Sally confronts Mina, ask about, responsibility with your messages. Mina is like, you left us while you ran around. So we should have stayed and been caught too. Save it, Sonic. There's one thing about Nicole Mina. She was in full control while we were gone. She kept up the act to protect as many as possible. She saw the legionizing firsthand. She was at your concert. We're not afraid. We'll take back our city. Does she feel it if I stomp the ground? I hope so. Computer, stop spying on us. Sally is like, please talk to us, Nicole. Naugus is like, this is great. This is absolutely great. I'm just going to keep amping their fear up. Nicole is having a good cry with herself in her secret area. Turns out, this is where Dimitri was installed. Because, again, Dimitri's just ahead with some data tentacles now. Dimitri offers some wisdom to Nicole. Espio shows up and is like, what are you doing here? Sonic and Tails rescued him, Sally found out he's been dead. She knew she had to show him mercy. What does a villain and a traitor have to say to me? And you would know nothing about being branded a traitor? Now tell me, you came here to really threaten me and yell at Nicole? No. I came to see if you were okay. Dimitri, hello M30. Hope you are well. I like that little emote combo. Dimitri is worried for Nicole. Nicole's like, I made this city as a gift for everyone, but I don't want to be seen that I'm going to be trapping them. You lost control of enormous power before, Dimitri. How did you handle with this? Which time do you think she means, when you were Enerjack, or were you the Grandmaster of the Dark Legion? In either scenario, I was trying to exert my will over reality to force things to suit me rather than deal with them as they were. And now look at me. Never to be with my family again. My people led astray by my own son. My legacy, a twisted, wretched thing serving the Eggman Empire. I was selfish. You two have something that I ignored. You have the love and support of friends, others who will seek you out to help you. Nicole, you must be brave and face the public scorn. They cannot hate a fateless monster of the shadows when she stands up to them with reason. Though it is one thing to speak of courage, it's another to possess it. I'm afraid you two must lead by example. Thank you, Dimitri. You can rest here till you're ready. I will never be ready, child SPO. I know it is a lot to ask you for anything. Would you arrange a meeting with Knuckles for me? I'm no position to deny someone a second chance. I'll talk to Knuckles, see if he'll come with me. Dimitri wants to talk to Knuckles. Understandable. Dimitri is offering, again, a level, reasonable head.
Knock, Knuckles.
Dimitri, this is a far cry from the Dimitri that was generic techno-fascist with the Dark Legion underpenders. Dimitri tells you how to get ahead in life. See this art here? This is John Gray. They at least brought in John Gray to like draw things sometimes. Sonic and Tails are playing tag. Sally is off making sure that everything is okay in the Dragon Kingdom. The Iron Queen is in an oubliette. Obnoxious, but she's not going anywhere. Sally talks things over with Monkey Khan, heads back for a date with Sonic. Sonic and Sally are going off on a date. They're talking with their respective parental figures. They have a nice place at a restaurant. Turns out Mobians start arguing about Nicole while they're there. Mina Mongoose is there as well and is like, I'm leaving. The Mobians fight for and argue for a little while till Amy breaks it up. Sonic and Sally leave, go to the lake where the Chow are. Remember, the Chow were brought in from from Cream and Vanilla's place. Sonic and Sally have a sweet moment, and St. John is looking over it, and St. John heads elsewhere. Ixis Naugus is going to make his move. Second Impressions Part 2. They bring Knuckles to see Dimitri. He was here and nobody told me. I just found out. They know our troubled history, and I asked to remain hidden until I have the strength to speak to you. Fine, talk. I'm sorry for everything. I don't know which is more shameful, my crippling pride or how long it took me to acknowledge it. With each mistake I made, I thought that only I could right it. I just listened to my brother back then. We both would have been able to live our lives with our families. Now look at me. Look at us. I could not lead the Dark Legion down the proper path. I could not save them from Dr. Robotnik. I freely admit I have been in the wrong and I am lost. Please ask for your forgiveness and for your guidance, Guardian. Knuckles asks how they got here. And Dimitri outlines about the chips and making them prone for mind control. Either half our kind are slaves or as good as dead. Please do not punch me in the face. It is all I have left. I like that line as well. You're going back to Angel Island. I'm plugging you to Haven, and you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to fix this mess. I will. Thank you. Thank you, Guardian. And Knuckles is like, deuces out. So Dimitri, like, I'm not sure. I'm not going to be a Dimitri apologist. I'm just going to say I think that how Flynn is writing Dimitri is so much better than how Penders ever wrote Dimitri in the Dark Legion. I think this is so much better. I'm not going to be a Dimitri apologist. I just think that Flynn writes him as an actual character instead of being like he's the bad guy. He's so bad guy. I'm going to just write all these analogies about Nazi Germany, and that's how you know he is a bad guy. He is a bad guy because he is bad. He is doing bad. That is what he is doing. He is the bad guy, which is there is nuance to him. Yes, instead of he hoo hoo ha. Exactly. There's actually nuance to this character. He is expressing regret about everything he has done that has led both sides of the family into, frankly, ruin, and ruined the echidnas at the same time. He is like, I have been trying to always do what's best for my people. It turns out I was not the one to lead them. Sonic Universe number 25, The Silver Saga. This is kind of interesting. This is going to be a bunch of stuff about Silver the Hedgehog. Remember that Mogul is the mentor of Silver the Hedgehog, and Mogul is like, you have this power, you should be very careful with it. You have incredible potential. If you drive too deeply into your power without preparation, I feel you will suffer the same fate as ... Turns out we have a visitor from another time, perhaps another dimension. Remember my words on potential and restraint. Ultimate power ultimately corrupts. Investigate, but do not be so quick to find conflict. Silver gets zapped by this mysterious figure here. Looks a lot like Vector. Fires lasers with the sound effect Vect. Fights Silver for a little bit. Silver, throws rocks at him. Knocks him out. Edmund helped out. Edmund's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're tearing apart the city. Pokes Silver with his stick. And is like, aren't you going to explain yourself? Why'd this shiny fellow attack you and tore up my city? He goes back online. He warp rings out. Silver uses psychokinesis to keep the portal open and dives through to the unknown. He ends up in this mysterious world. Look at what this statue is. Do you recognize the statue? This statue is Enerjack. This is a statue of Enerjack holding the world and Angel Island in each hand. Turns out the Chaotix show up in weird robot form. They fire lasers, Vect, Saffron, Re, Term, Spyro, Mizd. They're firing lasers that are their names. Silver fights them for a period. Meanwhile, we see Enerjack is like, who's this? What a marvelous power. And rips out the soul out of Remington. Nothing can stop me. Enerjack, living god. We can see on the walls here, Enerjack has ripped the soul out of a whole lot of people. There's Robotnik and Snively up here. There's Phonetivus. There's fucking Ixis Naugus. There's Sonic, Sally, Tails. They've all had the soul ripped out of them. If you haven't figured out yet, Silver has gone into the future where you may remember the original future that the Mobius 25 years storyline was supposed to be before Penders actually wrote it properly. You may remember Julie Sue coming back in time to stop the assassination of Knuckles because she thought that was what was caused the dark events of the future. She didn't prevent that. Knuckles was Chaos God anyway. He didn't get assassinated. She goes back to her future. She talks with her mom, and her mom was Julie Sue was like, Knuckles went evil when he became Enerjack. I'm the leader of the rebellion against him. This is that future. This is the future where Robotnik or Knuckles went completely evil as Enerjack and has taken over. We get some more action stuff. Silver gets saved by the freedom fighters of the time, who are Dagger, Walrus, Payback Fox, Blockbuster, Polar Bear, Cutlass Depardieu, Demo Duck, Scarlet Rabbit, and it's me, Silver. You're a sight for sore eyes, Lara. Don't call me that. Take a moment, Garden. He obviously knows you, and you won't find out why. If you skewer him, you're right. How do you know me? Sorry, I got excited. Didn't know another version of you, a different. Call me Janika. You see, I'm a time traveler. I recently went into a past where I met a different Janika and helped her save Angel Island from a monster. Silver went into, remember, the 30 years future storyline and saved them from helped save them against to chaos. Janika is like, look, you're from a different future. Your mistake coming here to our world. You're coming with us. Uh, she explains what happened um, with the world and explains that he took the Chaos Emerald so no one could even try to match his power. The army was crushed. What's all that's left? He who, Enerjack. What about Sonic the Hedgehog? He was reduced to a core just like everyone else. Core. You see how the prelates dissolve into balls of light. Those are cores. They're concentrated life force. Enerjack steals them from his victims and uses cores to create prelate warriors. So, in other words, Enerjack rips your soul out, turns your soul into a immortal fighting monster under his command that even when it dies, it will always come back because it just goes back into soul form and then can reform again. Enerjack is literally just ripping people's souls out of their bodies and turning them into servants. It's him. He found us. My dear child, I've always known where you were. Enerjack makes his move and just fucking freezes them. You've made an amusing distraction, but the time travelers made your entertainment value obsolete. Janica has the Sword of Acorns here, by the way. The actual Sword of Acorns that she's planning on using to stop Enerjack. Silver breaks them free, and he's like, "Ho ho! Clap clap! What fun! We're having fun!" And so he's like, "Oh, you want a fair fight? Here, fight my warriors." I've been saving this one for a special occasion. You turned her into a core? Which one is this? Prelate JS. It's my mother. Julie Sue had her soul ripped out and is a robot prelate warrior like the rest of them. Lara Sue is understandably upset. And is like, you fight Enerjack. Enerjack's like, oh, this is fun. We're having a fun time. Zap. You arrive just in time, traveler. You will witness my final victory and total domination of this world. Issue number 27. Enerjack and Silver are fighting. There's a whole lot of action happening. There's even more action happening. Helps out Janica, helps out the other ones. Silver grabs the cores so that way Enerjack can't use them anymore. You've become such a strong woman. Why must you resist me? Enerjack is just kind of thinking, watching the rest of them talk. And, talking about restoring everyone. Sometimes he just broods like that and lets us fight another day. Let's get moving before he changes. Clap, clap, clap. Such a show of violence, drama. You haven't been this much fun in years. Don't egg him on. He acted like this just before he sank down under. You had a city called Down Under? No, he sank the continent. He's going on the offensive. Scatter. Oh, don't spoil this for the boy, dear. I'm something to be experienced. He gets all his cores back. He starts killing the freedom fighters. Bean goes fucking psycho. Demo, sorry. Fucking bonks Silver with a big chaos hammer. I'll deal with you in a moment. Just starts ripping the cores and destroying the freedom fighters. What would my teachers say? Get up, you lazy cuss. Kids today, honestly. Your power is your spirit, and thus the power lives on in you. Great, either cranky or cryptic. Focus, focus, focus. Your rebelling used to make me sad. I planned on building a dynasty with you and your mother, uniting the bloodlines at last. I do believe you went back in time to try and save me once. Wrong timeline. I wish Remington had taken care of you. You still have so much power, so much potential. So we waste when What are you smiling at? Oh, nothing. Silver is gone fucking turbo. And Enerjack is like, yeah, fucking hell, let's fucking fight. This is fantastic. I'm glad we're having a good fight. This has been so long since I've had something actually like worthy of fighting. Silver the Hedgehog versus Enerjack in issue number 28. Janica is like, I will restore order. Silver and Enerjack fight with psychic powers and chaos powers. I was rather fond of that statue. Throwing me is nothing compared to this. Ugh, did you just hit me with the island? Fucking Enerjack just grabs the entire floating island and just shoves it upward to hit Silver. Because Silver's floating in the air. Fucking Enerjack. This is what you do when you have actual ultimate power. And oh yeah, he summoned all the prelates. Look, we have Dulcie here, we have Monkey Khan, we have the Babylon Rogues, we have Finetivis, we have Amy, we have the fucking Down Under Freedom Fighters, we have Sally, we have the fucking gorilla guy from the fucking Destructix, we have the goddamn clam from the fucking 40 Fathoms Freedom Fighters. We have Shadow. Janika starts cutting through them with the Sword of Acorns. Even if Enerjack is a Mwahaha villain, he's kind of really cool. He is a Mwahaha villain, though. At least in this. This is absolutely a Mwahaha villain who's taken over the world and everything. And he and Silver fight for a while. And I went too far. I really did. I think I could do this to the traitor. He was evil. As evil as they come. But when the master warned me about letting my power go out of control, I think you scuffed my helmet. How rude. And fucking Enerjack is just blasting chaos power into Silver. Silver is like remembering the words of his mentors. Nothing can match the power of chaos energy except more chaos energy. Use your head, and I don't just mean for all that glowing nonsense. Energy is what moves all matter. It is yours to guide and manipulate. Why is this future story so much better than the high school drama bullshit that was allegedly written and fine-tuned over multiple years? And this is the fucking side stories. This is the side story comic. This is Sonic Universe. This is where the fucking side stories are. Silver realizes what he has to do and uses his psychic energy because he can't top your level of power. What he can do is turn that power against you. And so Silver just keeps sending chaos blasts, redirecting them back at Enerjack. Enerjack is like, what the fuck? I should have just crushed you. I'm just going to use my bare hands now. And Janika uses the Sword of Acorns to steal the power of Enerjack. You may remember Mammoth Mogul did this way back in the day with the original Enerjack. Julie Sue or Lara Sue becomes Enerjack, steals all of the chaos energy from Knuckles, immediately aging him. I took back the cores. This is my mother's. I can restore everyone. Cool, but what about him? Dear Janika or Janika, Lara, dear, or Janika, whichever you prefer. You've rescued me. The madness, the power, yes. But you took a little bit too much. If I could just have a little back just to get on my feet and help you rebuild, yes. She smashes the Sword of Acorns, so that way Knuckles can never have the power again. Knuckles is just kind of a broken old man. She's like, I can use my power for good. I will return the Chaos Emeralds and we rebuild. We will clean up the planet, and I will, after the world is healed, if I can even restore my father. I won't be Enerjack for much longer. Thank you, Silver. Pieces out. Silver pieces out from the world, comes back as a time traveler nearly instantaneously. And Guardian, you remember me? Yes, I do. You just left a second ago. Just a second. Right, time travel. Are you free tomorrow, sir? Yes, why? I want you to teach me more. I still have a lot to learn. The preview for the next Sonic Universe arc is involving this guy who has been trapped in jail in the Prime Zone. That is, of course, Scourge the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog number 223. St. John makes his move and brings out the Ixis Naugus. Nicole is like, no, I will capture you. Naugus is like, I will turn your nanites into crystal. You hold no sway over me. I will speak to the Council of Acorn now and bring you all peace and security. He goes to the Castle Acorn. St. John is like, as the commander of the Secret Service, I'm ordering you to stand down. He's a traitor. Arrest him. I'm acting on the king's orders. Top secret business as usual. Stand down. As crown princess, King Trump's princess, sorry. Elias didn't authorize this. Who said anything about Elias? The freedom fighters, however, attack St. John. St. John defeats them. At least some of them. Before getting captured by Nicole. Robotnik is preparing something on his end. Sonic is continuing to try to chase Naugus. Naugus just makes a big wall and is like, today you can enact a great justice by giving me the crown and kingdom that are rightfully mine. What does your wife have to say about all this? She doesn't care much about now. Hershey's dead. She's been dead for a while. They argue with Ixis Naugus. Ixis Naugus is like, I will honor the people's will and maintain the council. I'm not your enemy, nor do I hold a grudge against the Acorn line. You have done what you must in trying times. And Elias throws the Sword of Light to Sonic. Sonic says, has this cool sword, just like Sonic and the Black Knight. That's kind of what they're referencing here. Robotnik goes to the special zone. Robotnik and Snively race for a Chaos Emerald. Robotnik wins the Chaos Emerald. Now you face a choice. You're allowed to bring one back. Which will you choose, your comrade or the Chaos Emerald, obviously? Hand it over so I can go home. What? Magnificent. Simply magnificent. It's Sonic Blue, fittingly enough. Since no one denies Dr. Eggman anything. Now, tiny mortal, what shall I do with you? Boop. What? Roar! Ad break in 3 minutes. And that's why I conquer worlds and you lose whatever you were. Robotnik gets a Chaos Emerald from the special zone. That's 4 Chaos Emeralds that have been gained from the special zone, I think. Feist is angered again. Feist just keeps getting dunked on. Sometimes the Sonic actually plays his game. Issue number 224. I've got the Sword of Acorns. It's a fake. I saw the real one destroyed. Right, so Elias promoted the Sword of Light, which beats dark magic like yours. So he's still calling this the Sword of Acorns. It's actually, if you may remember, the Sword of Light from the Paladin. What's done is done. My master is meeting with the Council of Acorn now to make rightful claim to the crown, and through him the people of the city will finally be safe. Traitor or revolutionary, you're still a murderer. He's like, what? You said it yourself. Hershey is dead. You think that I could do that for you? We were on separate missions. I investigated when she didn't report in. You expect us to leave a single word for you now? Think of what you like, but do not belittle my wife's sacrifice. So, St. John said last issue that Hershey was dead. They assumed that he killed Hershey. He's like, no, I would never kill my wife. Do not belittle the loss of my wife. She is innocent. She died on a mission. That is what happened to Hershey the cat. St. John lost his wife. That is, I guess, why he decided to finally go full Ixis. I'm not entirely sure. The Chaos Emerald is powering whatever Robotnik is trying to do. The last king swore fealty to me, became my knight. This kingdom is mine. That is back from like issue number like what? 40 something. I miss my wife, Naugus. I miss her a lot. Elias goes in with the sword to help fight. There's been enough fighting between your family and I, boy. Step down and take back your simpler life. We're not freedom fighters anymore. We're counselors, but the people elect us to govern or not to fight, or do you want to be charged with dereliction of duty? Hello, what happened to the fighting? Only Constitution calls for a king to preside over the council. It doesn't specify who has the king. You can't be serious. I thought the matter of Elias's rule was always settled with you and your husband. What was settled with the people's existence of a king. Come on, people. He already stirred up trouble and crystallized Nicole's nanites. What further proof do you need? Well, if he could do that, maybe he could protect us from. Are you crazy? I've never been so insulted all my life. Robotnik's still out there. We have laws for a reason. So the council is starting to argue because some counselors see this as Naugus can keep Nicole in check. Because right now, technically, there's nothing keeping Nicole in check. I understand why the people are scared, but keep in mind, Ixis Naugus is also using his magic to amplify everyone's fear. Oil Ocean Refinery disabled, Egg Totem destroyed. Countdown 10 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever. Jeffrey St. John, what you say is innocent, if you say you're innocent, say Naugus is in the right, then we shouldn't be fighting. If you're doing the right thing, stand down, let justice take its course. St. John is like, okay, you're right. I'll play along with that. I'm only just letting my master talk to the council. Nicole is extremely broken because the nanites were turned to crystals. She can't feel them anymore. Maybe this Naugus guy could protect us. Wasn't Sonic fighting him? Sonic's fought good guys too, though. Maybe he's made another mistake? Isn't Commander St. John a hero? Sonic is like, well, no, we need to fight. And the counselors are like, no, we should at least vote on this. Don't I think Alias should have a say what happens to the crown? If I were to step down, would you honor the council? I only seek the crown. I will honor the council and the will of the people, just as some freedom fighters should. Sonic's like, I'm going to end this before anything, before we do anything. And Elias is like, no, like, look, we need, this needs to be ended peacefully. He's too powerful. The people are jumping. We need a peaceful solution, and we can figure out. Sonic's like, no, I'm gonna do this. And Naugus is like, bold words from the one committing treason right now. Robotnik is deploying something, and he's like, if it was Eggman, you wouldn't be giving me a hard time. Julian is my enemy as well. Nobody calls him that anymore. Get with the times. 2, I wasn't talking to you. 3, your raspy hissing makes my skin crawl, so shut it. And Elias is like, please let the council handle this. We are the elected people. I'm letting the elected people rule themselves. This is hectic enough without you making earthquakes. That was not my doing, nor is it an earthquake. Something shook the earth with great force from a distance. Dr. Eggman, he's been quiet for a long time. They all go outside and look. There is a shadow covering the land. We see Rosie here. We see Sonic's mom and dad. We have the Duck family here. We have some good call outs to things. What has happened? Robotnik has launched the Death Egg 2. Free Comic Book Day 2011. No. Yes, 2011. This is going to be a real treat. This free comic book day is going to be a real treat for some of the people who have been with us the entire time. I'm gonna let the 30 seconds of the ad go. I'm gonna take a sip of my Pepsi here. Pepsi Max. Hello, Katakumo. Say what you want. Eggman has a style and he sticks with it. It's true. He does. I'm gonna let the last 6 seconds of the ad break roll, well, and I will welcome back everyone in a moment. I should probably make some more lemonade and get some water later, but I still have more Pepsi, so I'm just been drinking that. I would also fly a battleship that is in the shape of my head. Welcome back from the ad break, everyone. We get a recap of all the last years of issues and what happened with Ixis Naugus. Who remembers what this is? You may remember from the absolute last of the
Knock, knock his knuckles.
super specials, super special
Knock, knock his knuckles.
15. Before I mention that, I'm gonna point out this ad here for August 2011, Knuckles: The Echidna Archives Volume 1. They are starting to sell Penders' old comics as an archives collection. Penders didn't like this. He wanted it on the money. This is when Penders started doing his lawsuit against Archie. You remember the dog shit special with a ton of blank panels. Yes, the original super special number 15, the really awful one by many hands. No one wanted to take credit for the fucking like 12 pages of blank panels that happened all the time. This is a retelling of that story without any blank panels, and instead actually has action and shit about what's going on, what happened between Naugus and Sonic. This is Sonic rethinking about his last encounter with Ixis Naugus, which you may remember was that snow story, that dog shit special. And this is actually this was a free comic book. This was Free Comic Book Day 2011. Actually going through and fixing that story. Yes. They went back and they fixed that special because that special was garbage. It's the special, but instead it's actually all the action that happened. Flynn wanted to go back and fix it, so he was allowed to as a Free Comic Book Day. Hello, Null Sprite. I hope you are well. But yeah, that, and then there's the Free Comic Book Day stuff about, you know, the first appearances of various characters and all sorts of encyclopedic info. The Death Egg Mark II. But yeah, it is a complete retelling of Sonic, of the Sonic special number 15 that was just pages and pages of like snowstorm with nothing happening, that Flynn and company went back and fixed it. Sonic the Hedgehog 225. 20th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog Countdown to Genesis 1, issue number 225. You may notice the cover doesn't say approved by the Comics Code Authority anymore. I think the Comics Code Authority doesn't exist anymore. I think that's why they stopped stamping the covers of the comics with the approved by the Comics Code Authority. But I think that is... I think at this point in 2011, it's gone. Sonic recounts everything that should have made connections about he's building a refueling station, but it's way too big. I don't care what the refinery's for. He's built a refueling station for something bigger than he's ever flown. He's like, Sonic's like, we should have made the connections. He was rebuilding the Death Egg. What a fucking joy the new authors are. Their MO has been, we are going to go back and make something good of this shit, but I didn't expect that. I told you it would be a treat for anyone who has been around this entire time. I told you we were having some fun treats from everyone who, like how St. John is a traitor to the freedom fighters because no one liked St. John, and except he's a traitor with giving things to Ixis Naugus, which no one expected. And Robotnik has rebuilt the Death Egg again. So they call a truce. And Naugus is like, I'll handle it. I have complete mastery over the elements. And so Sonic, Tails, Sally, the Freedom Fighters, and St. John head towards the Death Egg. Um, we have resistance inbound, right on time. Does the rodent look worried, Snively? Actually, sir, it's Ixis Naugus. Naugus? Ugh. What is that? An old foe and the reason I like magic or science over magic. He's supposed to be a drooling, mindless monster. No, we've been over this. Expect the unexpected. Chaos is the constant. More resistance inbound. Confirmed Freedom Fighter aircraft. That's more like it. Authorize all automated defenses. Don't bother with the hedgehog. Excuse me, sir. Don't aim at Sonic. You heard me. You'll never shoot him anyway. Shoot down the rest of them. And fucking Ixis Naugus is like, aha, my crystalline magic will stop it. And Robotnik's like, oh, what's that? I filled the fucking thing with power rings. I've put an entire energy matrix of power rings that I've stolen throughout the entire Death Egg. It's immune to magic. It's immune to a lot of shit. Because it's full of power rings. Sonic and company, I figured he would patch our entry point the last second to maintain his charade from the siege in Sonic the Hedgehog 199. We have a hull breach in the upper decks. Of course they do. They got there a little faster than I expected. Do you want them to ruin everything before? Not now. How goes Operation Clean Sweep? Stage 1 will be ready in 5 minutes. Stage 2 is at 75%. I love it when a plan comes together. I'm going to personally oversee the activations. Linda is like, what the fuck? I don't understand how you can stand working for him. Snively is like, I can't. Sonic and Sally have a smooch. Shut up and kiss me for luck. I don't want to get slapped around again. Sonic and Sally break in with Nicole. The robot patches up the hole. Anything, Nicole, just as before Sally, nothing. How are you holding up? I would prefer to focus on the mission right now. Robotnik lets them in on an elevator, brings them to a central chamber. Look, there's another Silver Sonic. Because every time Sonic's on a Death Egg, he fights the Silver Sonic. So Sonic's like, hell yeah, I haven't done this since fucking the Death Egg Saga miniseries. And Sonic is just stalling us. We've got to move on. Now, Princess, you don't want to ruin his fun. After all, you made this possible. Remember, it was your charity that left me in Snively's care when I had my little episode. Had you been ruthless enough, you could have ended me right then and there. I suppose you inherited that weakness from your father. After all, if he hadn't taken in poor Overlander all those years, none of this would have happened. You've had your minor victories, to be sure, but you only caused Sonic's superior abilities to make up for your weaknesses. Robotnik's sitting here with some delicious mineral water, watching the fight. It's been fun, children. The weapon is armed. I must get to firing it. Farewell. Sally rounds a corner. A machine gun pops out. Sally! Boop. Sonic sees as everything is losing its color, as Robotnik is cheering, he has celebrating his activation of the Death Egg's weapon. He sees Sally dead. The weapon fires. And that is the end of issue 225. 226. Sonic Genesis. So, Sonic finally finds himself... Hello, Miss Crow. Sonic finally finds himself running through Green Hill Zone. And he's like, I gotta save my animal buddies. There's robots here. This is kind of Sonic 1. Snively is capturing animals. Sonic meets Snively for the first time. Snively releases the ball and chain, which is the first boss of Green Hill Zone in Sonic 1. Sonic beats it with, the raised platforms and such, and frees the people from the egg capsule, and out of the egg capsule pops Sally, Antoine, and Bunny. My name is Sally Acorn. These are my friends, Boomer Walrus and Antoine de Pardo. And Sally's like, "Look, we're trying to stop Robotnik too. Why don't we join forces?" And Sonic's like, "Sure, we'll join forces." Antoine's kind of being like a coward, but kind of expected for old Antoine at this point. They go through Marble Zone from Sonic 1. Again, there's enemies from Sonic 1 in here. Um, they break out the enemies, they bust out the animal friends that are trapped. Sally is overjoyed. Sally demonstrates an interesting power here. She sings a song to the Flicky, asks the Flicky for help, and the Flicky agrees to help. The Flicky takes over the Badnik and uses that to find the other Badniks and help destroy them. Um, have you all figured out what has happened yet? Whatever Robotnik did has completely redone the timeline. Now you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, this is Penders' reset." No, this is not Penders' reset. Not Penders' reset. Sonic fights an old school Dr. Robotnik in the Marble Zone. Once my master plan is complete, you'll all suffer my wrath. As soon as I figure out what that plan is, just what is this glorious battle station for? They start heading into Labyrinth Zone. Sonic Genesis continues. This one, now you may also notice Spazante was brought in on this again. Spazante also did some of the art for the covers. The covers very clearly, the last one was a reference to Sonic 1. This one's a reference to Sonic 2's cover. Everyone starts going through Labyrinth Zone, and some swimming parts. Action Labyrinth Zone. This is cool. It's from the comics. Antoine gets swept away by the water. They start heading to Starlight Zone. They start heading through Starlight Zone. Like, I really want to comment. I'm skipping over a lot of these things, but like, look at some of these panels. Look at how like well laid out and like dynamic and everything these panels are, because like this is so nice. Like, think back like 2 or 3 streams, like how like they were bringing in like artists that just did not know how to draw, and just like weird faces and super sexualized Sally, and this is so nice. This is actually stuff from the games. This is fantastic. They're going through Sonic 1. Sonic beats the final boss of Sonic 1. Hydraulics pipe gets broken. Antoine lands in Robotnik's lap. Sonic breaks the thing. Robotnik tries to escape and gets hit. This is what happens at the end of Sonic 1. You can choose to hit Robotnik when he's escaping, and he goes down in flames. I hope you forgive the minor disinterest. Penders gave me an aneurysm, but man, was it fun to watch the trash fire unfolding. Understandable. The weird high school era was so bad. How far they've come. This is like kind of feeling what like the comics should have been. We have a pretty good fucking fan art here of Sally, but like this is like honestly what the comics kind of should have been from the get-go. There's the cover of 228 is parodying Sonic 3. You haven't figured yet, they're going through the Genesis games. Tails is here now. They're started going through Sonic 2. An earthquake keeps happening. Robotnik is up here with Snively and the Death Egg. Snively is outlining what is happening. Once fully powered, I'll be able to roboticize all of Mobius in one shot. The unexplainable hit and the soundest of plans. The Hedgehog. Shouldn't we be paying attention to the dimensional disturbances? They've caused heavy seismic activity. Preliminary readings suggest a total time-space collapse. It's like reality has been stretched and is fighting to snap it back. Whatever. I'll have one before then. Let me work. What about the Rebel Mobians who attacked us? They're trying to cause more problems. Oh, don't worry about them. Make sure the facilities are ready for uninvited guests. We have here, the comic should have celebrated the early games, not blatantly ignoring them. Yes, that's the whole thing. And we have them going through chemical plant now, and Tails is here. Robotization originally was Uncle Chuck developed it as a method of medical care. Robotnik sabotaged the original roboticizer, turning everyone who got roboticized into mindless servants. And that's what Robotnik was using to turn people into robots. And you could be de-roboticized if you, as long as you didn't get modified, because if you get modified, you get, you won't be convert back properly. The BEM eventually show up at like issue number 100 and 40 something, I want to say. The BEM de-roboticized everyone other than Sonic's dad and made everyone immune to robotization. So why is this Robotnik talking about robotization? Good question. We have more stuff, more action panels of the chemical plant zone, the infamous part where you have to climb up the vertical shaft and the water's rising. This is a reference to Sonic 2 that anyone who played Chemical Plant knows this fucking part where you have to climb up these moving platforms while the water rises up. Everyone who played Chemical Plant Zone as a kid recognizes this fucking part. Yes, you need to be patient for it, and a lot of people don't want to be patient, but they get through it. Everyone gets through it. Cool. If we rush in, somebody's going to get hurt. Sonic has a headache for a moment as he remembers Sally getting shot. You may remember at issue number 225, right before the device went off, Sally got shot by a machine gun. Sonic leaves. Sally and company go towards Oil Ocean. And again, this is Oil Ocean Zone. This is the ding ding the spike things going back and forth. Earthquakes are still happening. Sonic and Tails, however, have left for Metropolis Zone. Issue number 229, Genesis Part 4. Sonic is going through Metropolis Zone. Boomer, Sally, and Antoine are going through Oil Ocean. Sally is like, I remember something. It's all coming back like a dream. This is back from issue number 50. This is, at the end of issue 50. This is her remembering Sonic being dead, Sonic and her having a relationship, her getting shot. Sally is remembering, loses the memory, however, is like focus. Uses her ability to speak to the little animals to help out. Sonic is continuing to go through Metropolis Zone. Fights Robotnik with Metropolis Zone. This is the Metropolis Zone boss with the egg clones that bounce around. They turn off the Oil Ocean refinery. Metropolis Zone power goes out. Sonic and Tails start heading towards Wing Fortress. However, Wing Fortress is just a decoy. This is Wing Fortress from the games. This is the escape craft that Robotnik uses at the end of Wing Fortress to head towards the Death Egg. Sonic latches onto the side of it because it's what he does in Sonic 2. Sonic is up in the Death Egg. Sonic is starting to have memories of things again. What's the earthquakes? The whole planet is being torn apart. Indeed, it's desperately trying to return to what once was. Once I fire the Death Egg's roboticizer, it will cement the dimensional shift as well as turn every living thing into my robot slave. Robotnik used something with the Death Egg to basically cause history to just completely shift into this is the storyline of the games. And Sonic remembers there was another world. Robotnik Votoms, as Lanran puts it. And fight. This is the final boss of Sonic 2. Sonic uses the Chaos Emeralds as power because they're coming through this wire. Goes supersonic. Beats up Robotnik's craft. The dimensional stability is degrading exponentially. I don't even think the roboticized effects will stop it. And whatever's going on at your position is making it worse. Sonic Chaos controls using the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds that he has there. It's done. We'll see what happens now. He writes, "Hi, Sal," on the window. Everything's vanishing. What do we do? It's okay, Rotor. Sonic has everything under control. Sonic, Rotor. Trust me, everything will be okay. See you, Sonic, on the other side, Sally. The perfect time for us to go to Sonic Universe. We still have 4 more Sonic Universe episodes to go through. What happened to Scourge? You may remember Scourge from last week's summary with him fighting against Sonic and company taking over his world, going Super Scourge. He's now in the Parallel Zones prison. He gets beaten up by some other people here. Look who's back, Game Authant! Look who's back! Remember how I said shout out to issue number 2? It's Alan Cal! It's Horizontal and Vertical. Remember Alan Cal? So, for those that don't know Alan Cal, Alan Cal were from issue number 2 of the original comic. Sonic encountered Alan Cal, and they were in their own zone, and then at some point after the Ultimate Annihilator got fired, Sonic and Tails went back there, and Alan Cal got turned into death robots and were fighting each other. It is the Blowjob Brothers. And it turns out they were arrested by the Zone Cops, and the suppression necklaces turned them back to Alan Cal. So they're here in the dimensional jail, and they're glad that Scourge is being beaten up instead of them. Alan Cal. Zone Cops bring in some more new people that got arrested. This is the Robotnik of the Parallel Zone, who's the warden. Sonic the Zone Cop, along with Warden Zobotnik. Sonic the Zone Cop is like, I don't enjoy our time together, Warden. Turns out the Eggman Nega is still wrecking the universe. And look who it is! It's the Destructix. So, you've probably noticed the Destructix come back a whole lot. I think Flynn really liked the Destructix. I think Flynn really liked the Destructix because ever since Flynn took over the writing, we have the Destructix coming back so many times. Anyway, the Destructix and Fiona got arrested for violating the zone lockdown. We have what's happened to Silver, or not Silver. We have what's happened to Scourge while he's been in prison. We can see we've been aggressively pursuing his rehabilitation. Um, as you can see, he is bunking with an evil version of Big, who has stolen the mattresses and has left Scourge with only the springs. Scourge getting dunked on. Scourge getting Bebop and Rocksteady are here from the fucking TMNT. Um, Scourge getting stuffed into a washing machine. Scourge just getting beaten up at all opportunities by everyone else in the jail. Alan Cal try to talk to him. The big cat, which his name is Smalls, fucking smashes Scourge into his food. So keep in mind they're in the parallel zone. Because they're in the parallel zone, everyone native to the parallel zone is parallel to them. So that's why the parallel zone cops are all sideways, while the prisoners are the other way. That's because they're in the parallel zone, which is parallel to all the other zones, and the zone cops keep order over the multiverse. Turns out Magilla Gorilla is here and stops Smalls, and the Destructics are like, "Hey, but it's called the parallel zone. I know it's perpendicular, but it's the parallel zone, so they're parallel. So I'm using the proper terminology, even if it's not the actual case. It's not the perpendicular zone. They're parallel in the parallel zone. Because it's a parallel universe. Is that fucking Mephiles the Dark? Yes. Flynn was allowed to use Mephiles and the dark evil person from fucking Sonic Shuffle for the fucking Dreamcast. Flynn was allowed to just put them in the zone jail. So yes, Mephiles the Dark is here, and so is whatever the fucking name of the villain from Sonic Shuffle is. Scourge is like, you're all your freaks are gonna get me killed. Jeffrey St. Croix, who is the Jeffrey St. John from the parallel universe. King Max wants to see you now. Max Acorn usurped Moby and King. King Max is like, you threw me into the zone of silence. I eventually escaped. I really want my revenge against you, Scourge. Leave enough of him to be identified. He'll serve as a lesson to the others. Scourge is like, I'm not going down, not like this. The Destructics show up to help. Max is like, you've signed your death warrants. Ooh, what a scary old man. Fiona talks to Scourge, and Scourge is like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I have been beaten and broken here. I just want to be left alone. And Fiona is like, you've forgotten what made you king, and why you like this. And he's like, the suppression collars. The suppression collars take away all my powers. They keep my spines pruned. It's why he can't spin dash into anyone. It's because they have his spines have been haircut at the beginning. My gang, my army. Convincing them to help you now might be a little hard, though. Scourge has to convince the Destructics to respect him. Isn't there another Alter Sonic in this place? Just one. It's Sonic the Werehog. Sonic Universe number 30, Scourge Lockdown Part 2. Al and Cal are rooting for Scourge. Scourge gets brought to see Warden Zobotnik. Warden Zobotnik is like, I want to show you what happened with the Destructics. They're bad news. You should stay away from them. Um, uh, you can take your lumps, but I worry they'll break you worse than I ever imagined. Don't worry, sir. If things get out of hand, I'll come to you. Thank you, my boy. You've made the right choice. At last, his spirit has been broken. I can remold him as a force for good. I'll wipe my feet on your face. Your face out my way out the door. Zobotnik is trying to reform Scourge by having him beaten up. Recognize this character? I'm going to zoom in. I don't know what you see in Snot Kid. I've seen Mildew Stains tougher than him. Just wait till you see him in action, Abby. He's amazing. Do you know who this is? This is Abby the Koala. Abby the Koala would be Knuckles' live-in maid in the Mobius 25 years storyline under Penders. Turns out an alternate version reality of alternate reality version of Abby is actually a badass that has been in prison for in this parallel zone for like 30 years and is kind of the boss. Fiona recounts what she did, fighting to stay alive. Don't worry about me or my boys. I always have a way out. This is just a fun throwback. This is just a fun throwback from Flynn. What do we get here? We get the origin stories of the Destructics. Remember how I said that I feel like Flynn really likes the Destructics? Flynn really likes the Destructics. This is the origin of Sergeant Simeon, if you care. Sergeant Simeon led a one guerrilla crusade against Robotnik until he was saved by Mammoth Mogul. The same power that can make you even stronger, as long as you serve me loyalty, more power enough to crush my enemies, any enemy who crosses you. Mogul gave Sergeant Simeon super strength. Sergeant Simeon destroyed Robotnik, went back to his village. He was like, you haven't earned me, and leaves. Scourge convinces him to join with him. We get Predator Hawk's origin story. Predator Hawk was part of the Battlebird Armada. Yeah, again, Flynn has brought in the Battlebird Armada as what all of the birds were doing. Turns out Predator Hawk was top of the line. He attacked, however, Speedy, and the Battlebird Armada leader was like, how dare you? You don't do that. He was broken out by the Babylon Rogues, was with the Babylon Rogues for a while, wasn't really having fun, just stealing treasures. Mammoth Mogul is like, I will buy him off of you, only if this brilliant living weapon comes with me. You do not hunt baubles, you hunt the living. I could use a man of your skill, your passion, to remove certain obstacles in my way. Mogul gave me purpose, Mogul gave me prey, challenging prey. This is how the Mogul set up the Destructics, basically. So you may remember the Destructics were originally a weapon of Mammoth Mogul's. They were originally with that, and they're like, Al and Cal are like, we haven't seen you beaten up in a whole lot. And he's like, oh yeah, I made sure to schedule the beating so that way they didn't conflict with anything. Smile while you can, Snot. I stole 5 trays of beans at dinner. Ha ha. Snort. Ha ha. Scourge is planning his revenge. Part 3 out of 4, issue number 31. Scourge actually stops St. John from beating up Al and Cal. Al and Cal are like, thank you. And Scourge just fucking beats up a bit on fucking Jeffrey St. Croix, and Fiona has to keep up appearances by beating up Scourge a bit. We have an extremely buff, evil Amy. We have an evil robotic Tails here. We have Lightning Links here in this group therapy session led by Parallel Universe Rouge. Lightning Links outlines his time where he was like, I'm the best in the clan. I'm going to fight to prove my love to the bride of the clan, our conquering storm. She kicked his fucking ass and as such exiled him. And then he found out he was welcomed back in when remember when the Iron Queen took over. He was back at the side of the woman he loved until Sonic beat the shit out of him in the Sonic Universe arc and threw him out of the clan again. Scourge is like, how about some revenge? And all the bad guys are like, yeah, revenge, yeah. There goes months of progress. Get these idiots back to their cells. Flying Frog just goes up because Flying Frog is fucked up. And he's like, hey, yeah, us green guys got to stick together. What's the matter, Scourge Diverge? You don't want to play? I've seen you play with Sonic. I've heard you played with Mobius. I want to play too. The Destructics play the games I like to play, not like the Run, Scream, Cry Mercians. Turns out Flying Frog was from Mercia. A little pain, stain, and grain never hurt anyone. Not me, anyway. So many shouting, pouting, clouding. They tried to lock me away, stay day, but I got out. They would find more mess, success. So chase to face a race, and I play with them next, and the next, and the next, and the next. Knock it off. I'm running the Destructus now, so you follow me. Oh, okay. Sounds like fun. Guy makes Rosie look cuddly. Flying Frog's origin is just he was from Mercia and decided to just kill people? Question mark? He was an evil jester? And he's crazy? Would you settle down? I needs my beauty sleep. No can do, Abby. Besides, you want to be up for this? What the? You're busting out. That's the plan. Keep your mouth shut. And maybe you can slip out in the meantime. Notice right here. Notice in the jail cell next to them. Do you see who's in the jail cell next to them? Do you remember? Do you remember who these are? This is the Silver Snively and Robot de Galactus. Remember from that like 2-issue fucking series about the fictional story of how it was the Guardians of the Galaxy that was written by literally and drawn by literally people who worked on the original Guardians of the Galaxy comic? You remember those fucking 2 comics? That's the Silver Snively and fucking Robo Galacticus from fucking there. Again, Flynn is pulling out all the fucking like deep cuts here. Imagine being Snively and it's like, bro, you get to be miserable in every iteration of the universe. Like me. You got some nerve, kid. How did your boys, one's a ninja and the other's a freak. They take over the control room, break the inhibitor collars on themselves only. We unlock all the cells and normalize the gravity to create some pandemonium. Jailbreak! Phase 5. Hey, Snot, the door's open. If you carry me, maybe I'll help you get out of here. What do you say? I say, slam. I'm helping myself to a heaping helping of payback. Hail to the king, baby. Scourge, the inhibitor collar is broken, so Scourge can go loose again. It is thunderstorming here, by the way, so if I suddenly lose internet, you'll know why. Issue number 32. We have a riot on our hands. The command control stations are destroyed. All but 6 inhibitor collars are still on. There's a jailbreak happening. Um, there's in fact fucking Mephiles the Dark right there. There's like the metal tails that was in there earlier. There's a snake dude. There's some crazy fucking echidna guy. There's all sorts of like fun little references in this. Um, Scourge is going around getting payback for all of the times and all the people who were beating him. Didn't you dunk me like a basketball once? Or no, whammo, 3-point shot. You guys, big guys, are scared of little old me. Let's talk things over till you're scared and scarred. And was beating up the zone cops as well. Don't worry, the floor will stop you. I need to hold the guards' attention while Fiona steals back our gear. Fine, ruin my fun. There's no time for fun. We need a plan. Sure, we need two things. One is an exit to the prison yard the guards can't block, and the other, bring me Al and Cal. Some of them are raiding the treasury for money and everything. Their stuff is gone. Who could have stolen their stuff? I wonder who could have stolen their stuff. For those of you not looking at the panel at home who are just listening, this is Jeffrey St. Croix, who has stolen all their stuff. We're pals, remember? You're buddies. I remember you two shared your meals and kept me company while the rest of the prison beat me like a piñata. I'm getting my revenge, so you boys should too. Simeon, break their collars. No, bad idea. Collars keep us from reverting into... Al and Cal, demigods. Fall to our might, geometrical inferiors. We control the vertical. We control the horizontal. They're back to their selves that happened when they got dimension zone blasted by the fucking Ultimate Annihilator. See, they just needed to let loose a little bit. Oh, that takes care of our exit to the yard. Go me. As the fucking Destructrix are like, what the fuck just happened? Scourge showed kindness to Al and Cal because Al and Cal showed him kindness. Scourge remembers kindness. There's an angry bird here. There's a snail. They're like, we need to get our stuff back. I hear the zone cops arriving 15 minutes till arrival tops, and more teleporting in all over the prison. We have to find our gear. Here's what you're gonna do. I know where it probably is. Let's go back in and find our stuff. There's the buff Amy. There's a evil version of Cream with her ear damaged. There's some guy who's on fire. Scourge breaks back in as, Al and Cal are just shooting everything. Jeffrey St. Croix stole all the stuff and is like, why are they... There has to be something here that they were planning on using. And...
Are you prepared for the kind of death you've earned, little man?
Welcome to talking about the Archie Sonic comics. We're on Sonic Universe number 32 right now, which is the 330th issue we've reviewed. Your clothes, milady, and I won't try to wear them this time. The Destructrix find St. Croix and King Max, and get their stuff back. The zone cops show up with disabler things to start disabling people. Don't escape without us. You helped us all this time. Don't leave us, old buddy, pal. I don't know, I could escape, get sweet revenge, and bring the world to their knees, or I could risk it all to save you two annoying worms. I think it'll leave you all choking on my dust. I'll like that one later, losers. Rat! That's what it does, Tom. Scourge and the Destructrix nope out. Zabotnik is like, track him down. Officer Zonic is like, we're still fighting Nega. The Prime Zone is a mess. You're cleaning up your mess only makes it worse. Scourge is gone. We think he went back to his zone somehow. Scourge has some big plans. The next Sonic Universe is going to be about the Babylon Rogues. issue number 230. You may remember the Genesis wave just happened. Sonic is remembering what happened while Genesis was happening. Wakes up, Sally, 10-second
Late,
rewind.
sorry, what's up?
10-second rewind, no cheap shot for you. Sonic rushes in to stop Sally before Sally gets machine gunned by the thing. So Sally does not die because, notice it says "Hi Sal" on the window of the thing because he wrote that back when it was the Genesis arc. Robotnik's like, why isn't it working? Why isn't the cosmic reset button resetting the cosmos? How am I supposed to roboticize a completely helpless and rebooted world that's not helplessly rebooted? Hello, Porbler, and a hydrate from Thad. I will hydrate. Hydrated. So, the reason why Robotnik was rebooting the world was to make it so everyone would be vulnerable to robotization again. Chaos is the constant. I remember now. Stupid golden rodent.
HRU Mousy?
I'm fantastic. It's Sunday. We're going through an important plot thing in the Sonic comics. Sally and Nicole are trying to figure out what's going on. Sonic and Sally stumble into a world roboticizer. Here I thought I had something to worry about. You remember those aliens that snagged us a while back when they de-roboticized everyone? They made sure it was for keeps. Oh yes, those bothersome BEM. They rewrote the rules of the game, but I changed them back.
Anyways, I go sorry for the short apparition.
Surely you noticed the flash of light, the momentary disorientation. That was just phase 1. You're bluffing. Did everything reset right? I heard that. Regardless, do recall, dear Princess, what happens when you try to roboticize? What tries to happen when you try to roboticize something already mechanical? When I tricked him into roboticizing my automaton double back in the Princess Sally miniseries. That's right, all of it explodes. Guns forces, all of the United Federation are blown back to the Stone Age. Let's not forget New Mobotropolis. There goes your precious Nanite City. All of the roboticized, the roboticized Mobian that's left, which is Sonic's dad, Bunny and Nicole are artificial life form and an android respectively. You'll destroy every chapter of your Dark Egg Legion. What's the point? I'll have millions of robot slaves to rebuild my robot army. Besides, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few Dark Egg Legionnaires. I never should have shown you a shred of mercy, you sick language rodent. As Sonic fights more Metal Sonics and Silver Sonics, Robotnik is like, where did Sally go? I'm trying to find her and gets smashed. Sally and Nicole are trying to break into Robotnik's software. The defensive software remains formidable. I will take hours to break its encryption. We have minutes. Can we block the command signal, start fuse, start processes? I am locked out and is ready to fire. I could potentially invert the beam to this exact point, but do it. You will not be immune. Make sure your core programs are safe at home. Just give me a manual executable, but you will be. Nicole, I've been given a second chance. I can save everyone with that. Please, I can't do this without you. Sally realizes and remembers that she died before the Genesis wave got activated. Sonic, because the timeline reset 10 seconds before, Sonic was able to save Sally. Sally's like, I was given a second chance. I'm going to use that to save everyone. No more setbacks. Fire the world roboticizer. Sally inverts the signal. Goodbye. The world roboticizer fires back on itself. Sweet, Sonic and Sally must have done something. Robotnik's like, I guess the old immunity wasn't reset after all. Please tell me you finished him off. No, of course not. Oh, look, we win again. Not yet. You're still on my turf. Once I find Sally, we're destroying your dumb egg, then stomping on Naugus, and the two of you can rot in a cell. Then I'm going to eat 1 million chili dogs, and then, oh no, 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 no. Ha, 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 ha. Hedgehog, priority 1. Sally has been roboticized. You think this is going to be over quickly? Nope. Sally being roboticized is going to be a thing going forward for some time. Sally inverted the signal with the world roboticizer such that she was the only one roboticized. She has been completely roboticized. Welcome, Mecha Sally. Tie-in comic to Sonic Generations. This is basically what happens at the beginning of Sonic Generations. Oh, look, there's old Sonic, there's new Sonic. Frog. $231. We have roboticized Sally, Hedgehog Priority 1. Sonic's like, fight it, Sally. Sally is roboticized. Robotnik's like, oh, yeah, let's take out the trash. I just want to enjoy this. Even though I should probably have both of you walk into an incinerator. You won't get away with this. Oh, please, Rodin, that tired old line. Toss him out, my dear. Sal, don't. Sally just drops him. Robotnik gives a toodle-doo. Chaos Emerald is gone. Mecha Sally, come with me. I need to come up with a better name for you. Tails rescues Sonic. Where's Sally? I couldn't save her again. What do you mean? What happened? I'll explain on the way. Just get me back up there. Naugus is on the ground due to the flash of light. Robotnik drops a big fucking orb that turns out to be Mecha Titan Metal Sonic from Knuckles Chaotix. Again, this isn't a thing that like Flynn is making up. This is from a game. This is from Knuckles Chaotix. This is the giant fucking Metal Sonic that, if you get the bad ending of Knuckles Chaotix, is rampaging through the city during the bad ending. Naugus is like, I won't let Robotnik destroy my kingdom before I can claim it. Naugus blasts it with a big fucking laser. Bunny is trying to stop it at the same time. Bunny gets hit with the laser. Everything is going off with the Death Egg. The Death Egg, Robotnik is like, fire the Egg Annihilator beam on New Mobotropolis. Robotnik fires the Egg Annihilator beam, which has a big egg Robotnik face on it. If I ever get a super powerful laser, by the way, I'm going to make sure the laser fires in my logo. I think that's a cool thing. I think having a laser that fires in your logo is pretty fucking sweet. Naugus commands the giant egg Metal Sonic Golem to block the laser for the city. Cream saves Bunny. Bunny has been crystallized. Cream also saves Tails Doll. For those who do not know what Tails Doll is the Tails. So in Sonic R for the Sega Saturn, each character has an alternate version of themselves that is also an unlockable character. Sonic has Metal Sonic. Knuckles has Metal Knuckles, which is pretty fucking sweet, by the way. Metal Knuckles is like one of the best fucking characters in the game. Robotnik has Egg Robo. Tails has Tails Doll. Tails does not have a Mecha Tails. Tails has this creepy little thing called Tails Doll. So this is a reference. That is a reference to Sonic R. What happened to Sally? What Sally went in there with? She disabled Eggman's greatest weapon, but Eggman was her. Sonic is wanting to go fight back. They're like, the city's been attacked. We need to worry about the city. Everyone is cheering for Naugus. Bunny has been turned half into crystal. Ixis Naugus is celebrating his victory. He stopped the giant Metal Sonic. He saved us from the Death Egg. He can protect us from Nicole and Dr. Eggman. We want our new king. Turns out when the egg thing reset thing happened, Naugus fell into a stupor. This is another comic. Who fucking remembers the Ixis Naugus origin comic with the fucking 3 Ixis wizards, the rhino, the bat, and the lobster. Turns out they're just like trying to take over Ixis Naugus again, because if you may remember from Ixis Naugus's origin story, the 3 of them tried to have a race, flew into the sun, and then came back out as Ixis Naugus. Turns out they're all in Naugus's head now, and they're whispering to him. And Naugus is like, silence, you fools, I will do what I have to. One of Robotics Creations is menacing my city, I will stop it. Last issue we will go over today, issue number 232, our problematic plural rep. Have you lost your minds? Naugus is the bad guy. We can choose the council. We should be able to choose our king too. It's not how monarchy works. You do not choose your king. You want to shake things up when the Death Egg is flying around. You really want to do this when Sally's been roboticized. Princess Sally's gone, but I thought roboticized. What do you mean roboticized? The technology is not supposed to work anymore. I'm sorry, Ilias, I don't know what to tell you. Eggman did something. The world blanked out for a second, and now roboticizes work, I guess. Sally, she saved us by destroying it. That whiteout was the doctor's doing. It's the reasons why I hear us. Yes, our body will be ours again. Quiet out of you. Let him seize upon this opportunity. Dear Mobians, in these dire times, do you want a king who is distracted by loss, this heartbreak? The poor wretch. Ad break. Sorry about this, everybody. There again, Jeffrey St. John is trying to rally the people to go for Naugus. He steals Ilias's crown, puts it on Naugus. And they're like, what about Bunny? Naugus's magic crystallized half her body. A minor mistake in the heat of battle. Where is she now? The hospital. But you, to the hospital! And Amy's like, what the fuck? Why does everything go wrong? He took the crown. He took the kingdom and the crown of the people. Is Sally gone? Sonic, will you see to Bunny? Sonic, what do I tell mother and father first? How do I tell them? You're going to turn me back to normal, right? Of course. Antoine is like, you cannot stop me. I will not allow you to touch her. Quack is like, look, man, we can't do anything. We got to let him do it. And Sonic is like, hey, Nicole, withdraw the nanites so everyone can see this. Naugus uses the Chaos Emerald, completely cures Bunny. How did you meant to do that? Totally intentional. Behold, our new king rewards the noble heroes of New Mobotropolis for all their bravery. Bunny has lost her cybernetics. Bunny is flesh again. Sonic goes to try to talk to Nicole at Freedom HQ. Nicole, are you there? I am here. I was in the handheld in the Death Egg. That was my original body. It's gone now. I was there when Sally sacrificed herself. Sally was my best friend. She's gone now. Nicole, you may remember, was when her handheld form was there when Sally redirected the Ultimate Annihilator. Nicole, on the same day, has lost both her original body and Princess Sally. Because if you may remember, or rather, if maybe you figured it out, from all the hints, Flynn is writing Nicole in love with Sally. Gonna sip my drink. Flynn has been writing Nicole as in love with Sally. Nicole has lost Sally today. Nicole has lost herself, her old body. Nicole is in a deep depression. Nicole contacts the Knuckles from across the globe. Knuckles opens up a warp ring and is like, hey, Mighty and Ray just took one. You remember from last time, from issue 212, Mighty went off with Ray to find his family. So Knuckles only has one warp ring. Depression is the natural state of any true AI. Julie Sue is here, and Sonic explains what happened. You let her get roboticized, and then you let Eggman walk away with her. Yeah, genius. I just let it happen. So keep in mind, part of this as to why they're so upset, by the way. How are they supposed to de-roboticize Sally? All the de-roboticizers are gone. All the roboticizers are gone. The only thing that's still a roboticizer that's left is the roboticizer on the Death Egg. That's the only thing that can possibly turn Sally back. So if the Death Egg is destroyed, so goes the roboticizer that turned Sally into a robot, and so goes the ability to de-roboticize her. The BEM are completely locked down on the ring world of Argentinium because of the war between Black Doom and the Exorta. So the BEM can't show up to just mysteriously Deus Ex Machina save the day. Turns out, why would he design to be able to reverse robotization? Exactly. The way the roboticizer worked was it could also de-roboticize if you just went back in on the same thing. It turns like an intentional design flaw. I think it was the nature of the roboticizer was that it like you could just reverse the signal or something and it would de-roboticize. I don't know. It's magic technology. It's hand waved why it works. At least from the lore of the series, you can always de-roboticize someone if you have the original roboticizer that they were turned into the robots with. Knuckles has been trying to find Finetivis. Dimitri has been plugged into Haven and is giving help to Knuckles. Sonic is like, screw you, I will figure something else out. Antoine just arrested Jeffrey for treason. That's the first bit of good news all day. Robotnik's like, yes, oh yeah, I'm not listening to a word I'm saying, are you? What, can't you see I'm busy? We're underpowered and barely flying. It's a miracle we haven't crashed yet, and you're busy working on one robot. This is a pretty good snivelly right here. The egg mites will handle the repairs. The Chaos Emerald will be found, and I have a network of refueling depots prepared well before I thought of using the emerald. So relax. Now get out and let me work. Fine, if you're going to distract yourself like this, I will take full advantage of the situation. Oh, little princess, how you used to be such a problem for me. You organized that little group of children and managed to upset everything for years. Sonic was your WMD, but you aimed him. You may have saved half of Mobius for me, but you exposed the heart of the freedom fighters, and I plan on making the most of that. Robotnik is modifying Sally. Meaning, Sally won't be able to be de-roboticized. The B comic for this issue, Bunny is back to normal again because of Ixis Naugus. He's like, of course I'm okay, I'm better than fine, I'm me again, and yet I've wanted this for so long, to be myself again. I've dreamed of it only now. You don't know what it felt like to soar through the sky like that, complete freedom. It was like nothing else ever, and now here I am, grounded. Bunny is having some depression, I guess to say, about the loss of her robotic limbs. Being a freedom fighter is my life. It means everything to me. What good am I now? Nonsense. I have no special powers, no amazing gifts yet. I do my part, do I not? Yes, of course, but I feel what I feel now. I feel so weak, so fragile. Compared to how I used to be, I just don't know if I'm strong. You not strong enough, you must be joking. It was not the metal Sonic that made you metal that made you strong, Bunny. It never was. It was you all along. It was always you. You will find a way to contribute to fight, and you will be magnificent. And Bunny is like, you're right, Aunt, my dear. I will try to find ate my spot here. I too would hate to lose my sick ass robot arm. No, the metal helped out a lot, Antoine. I don't see you out there tanking missiles. Seems like roboticized people didn't really need to worry about maintenance of robo limbs and such. Keep in mind, we had the whole comic way back in. This was back when still, I want to say before 125. So somewhere around the hundreds to like 125. There was a comic about Bunny's roboticized parts were breaking down because they were not meant to be used for so long, especially in a state that she was half roboticized, and they were breaking down finally. And that's why she got her cybernetics upgraded. So that way she could never go back and be de-roboticized, and she would be a cyborg forever. Turns out Ixis Naugus, using the power of the Chaos Emerald, was able to revert her back to being a rabbit. So they do have to worry about maintenance of their things. It's just there's a long time period for maintenance, from my understanding. It was also because her body was rejecting there was a conflict happening between her body's roboticized parts and her organic things, but also her robotic parts were breaking down because the body was rejecting it and was attacking it. So she at least needed maintenance. Maybe roboticized Mobians don't need that maintenance that often. I don't know. Robotnik's certainly doing maintenance on Sally. That's the last of the comics for today. Issue number 232. We've had a lot happen. What have we had happen? We had a whole bunch of fun adventures in Sonic Universe. I forgot to mention in Sonic Universe 22 there was a Die Hard reference. I apologize. I'm looking at my notes right now and seeing all the things I wrote down and seeing if I forgot to mention anything. Also, yeah, most roboticized Mobians probably don't get as much wear and tear as Bunny put her limbs through. That is also a valid point said. Why anything else in my notes? No, I think it's pretty much everything. Gotta go back and do the video again with the Die Hard reference. Now, the reference is that I think it is Fang, aka Knack the Weasel, who says "Yippee ki which is the reference to the scene in Die Hard, the Yippee ki motherfuckers. There's a lot of little references like that. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it. I sometimes forget to mention things that are in my notes. I apologize. But that is the end of what we're doing today. So we will continue off here when next week. And I hope you all enjoyed this part of the comics. We have Sally has been roboticized. Ixis Naugus is making his moves to become king of Mobotropolis. Bunny has been de-roboticized. And there's a lot that has happened. So, we need to figure out who to raid.